What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What's going on to all of my friends and family that's in the building? I appreciate y'all for tapping in. What's the word? What's the word? What up, Will Nola? What up, Trini Life? Uni, I see you. Major Gains, Loso Way, Treese, Victory Podcast, Shay, JJ, Limitless Minds. I see you. Magnetar, Peter Investor. What up, Peter Investor? Keisha says, "Where you at, AD? I hit you up on A. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I had a long flight yesterday. Don't. I got you. I got you. I promise you, I got you. What up to my friends and family? How y'all feel this morning? Let's go, AD. Salute to the bag chasers. I'm still on Eastern Standard Time, even though I'm on Mountain Time out here in Salt Lake City. I got you, Keisha. I'm on Mountain Time out here in Salt Lake City. I like Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is a little different, though. Is my audio good before we get started with the show? Y'all let me know if my audio is right before we get started with the show. We're going to go a little bit different. I'm going to pivot a little bit. Yeah, Utah. My audio is good? Okay, cool. Yeah, Salt Lake City is dope. Salt Lake City is dope. It's different, though, here. If you want to kind of like a slower pace, but at the same time, higher quality of life, then come out to Utah. I've seen some people like, oh man, it's racist and so everybody gonna say it's racist everywhere. I've been to Salt Lake City. I think this is my third time coming out here. It's dope. They got a dope airport. The Mormons run a lot of things out here. So they only sell alcohol at certain times, and you can only get alcohol past a certain time. And I don't know which days or what it is. I don't know if it's like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. or whatever like that, but it is. It's really nice out here. You said, how's the food? I don't know. I just flew in last night, but all of the previous times that I've kicked it and had food, it's like everywhere else. Regular restaurants is it's all that. So Salt Lake City is dope. Um, like everywhere, I think they got problems. One of the things that I've seen here is some of the people that you run into as far as like cashiers at gas stations and stuff. I think they got a meth problem or something like that up here. A lot of people missing teeth. I've seen several workers short on their fronts. So I don't know what that is. I don't know what the shortage of front teeth is, kind of the sunk in face. You know what I'm saying? So I guess everywhere got their problems, but that is one that I've noticed. You know me, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give you the real. I'm gonna tell you 100% of everything that I see, and I'm gonna give you the real. So front's missing problem. So if you're looking for some silly Billy gumdrop, then this is definitely the place to be. I don't know if they got a shortage of dental plans. They eating bricks out here. I don't, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a shortage of dental plans or what, but it's a shortage of front teeth. They got a meth problem out here, I think. Also, let me say this too, just because you know me, I'm gonna start using this. All right, so this is it. We going uncensored um, until on the Millionaire Morning Show. I've realized that I have throttled myself, so to speak, and I have to hold myself accountable for this. I've throttled myself by trying to fit in a little bit more, still being me, still being authentically me as far as my personality and stuff. But I think that I've been trying to please too many people as far as like trying to expand my reach and stuff. But what I've also found is that I grow the fastest and I have the best responses and I enjoy myself when I'm 100% myself. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that I can do a better job of, because I rewatched my show yesterday and I always rewatch my shows. I think I can do a better job of limiting my use of the N word, and I can probably increase my vocabulary a little bit better when it comes to cursing. But that's the stuff that I'm going to work on off camera. When I'm on camera, it is what it is. It is what it is. And so um, I'll work on communicating more effectively, but I'm no longer going to try to fit in. I don't want to be anybody else. I don't want to be a news agency. I don't want to be practically auditioning for being on a big platform or something like that. Not saying that that's what I am, but those are the type of people that I wanted to compete against, so to speak. But I'm just going to be authentically me. I look at this as my solo stream. That's it. Not a news, not none of that stuff. It's just my solo stream. I'm going to talk about the stuff that I want to talk about. I just so happen to love talking about how stuff come back to the money, whether it be politics, whether it be culture, whether it be local news and stuff like that. And I'm just gonna do what I want to do. That's just it. I'm gonna improve every day as far as the quality of the stream. But what you see on the Millionaire Morning Show from me going forward is just going to be me authentically kicking it with y'all and telling y'all what it is that I want to do. So nothing is really going to change as far as the format. Yes, I'm still going to be streaming inside of the studio, but I'm doing what I want to do. I don't have, nobody controls me anyway. So why am I trying to control myself? You know what I'm saying? Like the whole reason why I am very careful about not doing business with certain organizations and stuff like that is because I don't want to be controlled. So now, why am I sitting here trying to fit in when I'm supposed to be standing out? You know, so I'm just kind of doing my own thing. I don't really care about what anything else what anybody else is doing and what they got going on. And speaking of anybody else and what they doing, I'm not going to say no names right now, but I went on a little observation tour. If y'all want to really know what people are doing out here, you got to go out there and you got to see it. And I'm not even talking about just in the streets. I went on an observation tour and I looked at as many live streams. I watched so many different live streams yesterday. Um, and I was on a plane, right? So when I was on a plane, I had a 3.5, almost 4 hour flight out here to Utah. And I had an opportunity to kind of just chill, right? So I'm going and I'm looking at, I just went on a little tour and I just looked at every single live stream that I could find. I went and found different people's podcasts. I went and found live streams that was going on at the time. I went and found everything. People don't got it. They don't have it. They can't do what we do. They just can't. And I'm not speaking about anybody in particular because I watch probably over 30 different people, 30 different channels, 30 different people is struggle streaming. I don't care how intellectual they is. I don't care what kind of microphone they got. I don't care about none of that. I'm just going to tell you exactly what's really happening. These people ain't built like us. They don't have it. They don't have white people, black people. I looked at a Mexican stream or whatever. Some people can only talk for like 30 minutes, and that's one of the reasons why they got to get off. They stream for a little bit of time or whatever. It don't matter what the little graphics is that they use. They don't got it, y'all. They don't have it. They don't got what we got on After Hours. They don't got what we got on the Millionaire Morning Show. They don't got it. They don't have it. They can't do what we do. And a lot of it is just built off of popularity and who's who on Instagram and all of that stuff. But it ain't because they not good, y'all. A lot of people not good. Y'all, it's not good. Honestly, I'm being honest. I don't listen. I'm gonna be so real with y'all going forward. They're not good, flat out. That's why people need guests. That's why people like listen. Go, for example, one of the things that I looked at. I looked at the big ones. I looked at the small ones. Go look at Michelle Obama's podcast. Right. Michelle Obama has to have celebrity guests in order for her to even survive. She got to have them. She's had little episodes with just her and her brother. Trash, garbage. Most people, if they don't have somebody as a guest or a big guest or whatever, they can't stream, they can't talk, they can't do an episode. They have to have a crew. They have to have an interview. They have to do all of this stuff. And so um, one of the things that I made up in my mind, and I did this a long time ago. This was back when me and Charleston used to do videos all the time. And one of the things that I said to myself, and I love Charleston, and Charleston he is a phenomenal content creator, right? But one thing I said to myself is that I never wanted to be interdependent on other people in order for me to be successful. So what I did is I focused all of my energy on me, and then I would look at everybody else as like a special guest when they come. But I never wanted to be dependent on other people because what happens if you don't have a guest? What happens if you don't feel like spending money on them, right? I don't want to be dependent. Drink champs don't exist unless they get somebody to come on and interview. Michelle Obama, trash. Angie Martinez, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these people, and I'm not, and again, it just is what it is. People are not good by themselves. And so if they can't talk, Joe Budden, as great as a great, content creator as he is, and he's been creating content for a long time, Joe Budden has to recruit. He gotta get his friends on there. He gotta do it. Or, some people might get a little bit of a jump or something like that, and then they fall off. And they just be doing the same thing and the same thing. And if they not going at somebody, if they not like, you know what I'm saying, trying to beef or start a beef in order to get some motion, they not popping. They not popping. Unless they listen, I'm not saying that Drink Champs or any of these platforms is bad. That's not, y'all missing the point. I'm not saying that any of these platforms are bad. What I am saying is that they need other people to survive. They got to have a partner. One of the most powerful things that you can do is you can work on yourself and build yourself, even if you're leveraging other people to get visibility as a creator. And this is just game that I'm giving y'all. So take it how you see it. I love Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock is a great creator, right? I went on Jason Whitlock's platform, for example, yesterday. And apparently Jason Whitlock had an old partner that he used to work with, like a guy that he kind of brought up or he brought in, and then I guess they kind of fell out or whatever. I don't remember what his name was, but I seen people mentioning his name inside of the chat, right? So I went and I researched the guy because I wanted to know who the guy was because I had never heard of him. I had never seen him before. Because what I seen people saying in the comments or whatever, because I wanted to see what the sentiment was. What I seen people saying in the comments, for example, was Anton must be the new whoever this guy is, right? They said Anton must be the new whatever, whoever this guy is. Anton must be the new this person, but I don't know if he'll be able to survive. And it was so funny to me, right? Because I went and looked at the guy, and the guy is like trying to create content or whatever, so on and so forth. If y'all know who the name of the guy is, let me know inside of the chat because I don't know it right offhand and I don't feel like looking it up, right? But it was like, yo, Anton must be the new this on Jason Whitlock. Jason, why you got him on the platform? This and that, so on and so forth, right? Royce White, that's his name. Shout out to you, Mr. Joe. That's why I love my chat. So there was like, Anton must be the new Royce White. Anton must be the new Royce White. And so I go and look him up, and Royce was brought into the game, I guess, via Jason Whitlock. And I guess they did a bunch of streams. So maybe they went their separate ways or whatever. I don't know the details of it, right? But here's the thing. I do 50 across all my platforms. On the Anton Daniels channel, I do over 40 million views a month. And so I just chalked it up to maybe you don't know who I am, but I'm the A side. I'm big dog. Like when I show up to your platform, the bad chasers come in and they turn that bitch up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people don't know yet. They gonna find out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm big dog. I come in as a blessing. I don't come in because I need no come up. I do it for free. I do it because I love the game, because I rock with Jason and I like debating and I like talking information or whatever. But I don't really know who these people was talking about. It's like, no. The A side is here. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, I pay attention to everything. I'm a student of the game. When I come through or when I do something, whether it be business, see, I keep an iPad. When I be talking, I keep my iPad, I keep my notes and all of that stuff. I'm talking to y'all. When I talk or when I'm doing stuff, and that's 40 million just on the Anton Daniels channel. When I do stuff or whatever, right? I really become a student of the game. When y'all get into something, when you do something, no matter what you're doing, if you're gonna go in corporate America, if you're gonna be a software engineer, if you're gonna be a content creator, if you're gonna be an entertainer, I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're a rapper or all of that stuff, right? You have to immerse yourself. You have to be a student of the game. You have to live it. Listen to me, y'all. And then we're gonna get into the show because we got a lot of different subjects we can pick from. You guys stop being a part-time whatever. Stop being a part-time business owner. Stop being a part-time worker at your job, even though you're getting paid full-time. If that's what you're going to excel at, if you're trying to get to the top, that's how I got to the spaces that I was in corporate America. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to live it. If you're going to be a content creator, for example, right? Or you're going to be a music person, you're going to have to get into the club, bro. Seriously. You got to go out in the streets and see what the people is talking about. You can't be a content creator sitting in your house every day. Look at Kai and them. Look at DDG. Look at all of these people. Aiden Ross. They are actually out and about, mixing it up with people, seeing what's happening. Some of my favorite content creators is out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Or they going to see what's really happening. If you're going to talk about relationships, you're going to have to go and talk to women. Yeah, okay, so you married or whatever, so on and so forth. Fuck the theories. And everything is universally true across the board. But I also want you to get out there and mix it up, because you have to become the rock star of whatever it is that you do. Now, some of you people are not built for that, because what you'll do is get yourself in trouble, and you're going to start going down a path that it's no return from. Now, you also got to understand what you're getting yourself into, because if you're not ready for this game, if you're not ready for whatever it is that you get, it's going to take everything. In order for you to be the greatest at whatever it is that you do, it's going to take everything. The reason why detectives and police officers have such bad relationships and marriages is because they immerse themselves in their jobs. They're used to seeing the dead bodies, which don't they can't really come back from. So whoever it is that's in a relationship with them, they're not only just in a relationship with the person that gets home, they in a relationship with the person that with their job too. Do you hear what I'm saying? When you become married to a person, or when you get in a relationship with a person that do what they do, you're married to the game. You're married to the game. If you win this for money, you're gonna wash out. You're gonna get tired. You can't live this life. Whatever it is, basketball wives are that. They are basketball wives. They are married to the game as well as married to the husband. If you want a regular life, you're gonna have to get a regular person. If you want a regular life, you're going to have to get a person that can detach from their job, that can go and do their 9 to 5. And when they get off, they're going to come and play with the kids. I don't want to play with the kids. I want to immerse myself. I want to be everything that it is that I talk about. I have to be there. I have to be in it. I got to travel to these different places in order to see different things. I need to go to the off places. Man, I'm going to Appalachia in a little bit. I need to go see Montana. I need to be out here in Salt Lake City. I need to go and see LA. I got to be in New York. I got to be in Detroit. I got to be everywhere. I had to move into downtown Detroit, even though I keep my family out in the suburbs, because that's where all of the motion is. And so I need to see what is really happening in this city. And so if you're not willing to be married to the game, somebody always say to me, Anton, um, why you always talking about this? Ain't you? I've been married to the game my whole life, bro. I'm married to the game. I'm not. Everything else comes second to the purpose. Everything else comes second to the purpose. If you're not willing to live it, breathe it, immerse yourself in it, and then try to pull back in order to have a normal life afterwards, then you are never going to be at the top. You're never going to get there. You're never going to become super successful. You may middle, you may be okay, you may be a little bit more exceptional because you may have some talent. But if you don't live it, if you're not in it, the reason why most guys excel in corporate America or in business more than women is because women largely detach themselves because they try to serve two masters. They're trying to be nurturing at home while at the same time and be a mother while still competing against guys that eat, sleep, breathe it, is willing to be in the office till 9 o'clock at night. And then right after that, they go into the bar with their homies. They're going to trick off. They're going to snort some white. They're going to get some uppers. And then they going to bust down some holes and spend it on prostitutes. And then they going to sleep that shit off. And they going back into the office the next day. And they going to be immersed in it. They live it. They love this life. They are modern day rock stars. Finance bros are modern day rock stars. They don't sleep. And you're trying to turn it on and turn it off. And, oh my God, I'm going to detach when I get home. Success don't detach. I dreamed this. I was in the middle of the night. I was sleeping like, oh my God, I gotta think about this. And I woke up like, okay, let's get to it. You have to live it. You have to live it. The basketball players that become successful are not successful on the court. They successful in the off season. It's the practice. It's living it. It's the drills. Do you know what Kobe's regimen was? Go look at Kobe's regimen. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. So all I'm saying is everybody is not meant for everything, but I want you to understand if you get involved with somebody in the game, you're married to the game too. If you decide that you want to be a part of the game, you're never going to be able to turn it off if you want to be successful. Otherwise, go be like the rest of the 99% of the world and go to work, go home, get you a job, Go get you a 30-year mortgage. Hope that you don't get laid off. Have a kid or two. Take out some student loans for them. You know what I'm saying? Go to Thanksgiving dinner and take 1, 2 vacations out of the year. If you get to the point, make sure you put your money in your 401k. You get healthcare coverage, and then vote every 4 years, and live a regular life. And that's okay too. And I have no problem with that. Go and live a regular life. But if you are not built for this, if this is not what you want to do, if you don't want to live it, if you're not consistent with it, if you don't want to immerse yourself, I don't care if you're a fighter, I don't care if you're a detective, I don't care what it is. If this is what you want to do, then you're going to have to live it. Because who I am last year is completely different than who I've evolved. I've emerged. The year before, the year before, the year before, I'll go back and watch all of my stuff. And I'm like, man, look at the changes. You're going to have to be stressed out about it. I was telling Rita last night, I said, I got to get my life together. And then she was like, what that mean? I was like, you know what? I changed my mind. I said, let's rock star this shit. We gave a dap. We did just like this. We said, let's rock star this shit. Fuck it. Let's go to it. Toxic. Let's get this shit. I don't even want to get my life together. I don't even care about it. I said, man, let's run this up. Forget all of that. Let's just get it. Whatever it is that it is, let's run it up. We gave dap. She was sitting there. I was sitting here. She was sitting right there on that couch. I was on my computer. I said, man, let's get this. I did. Same thing with my daughter. I said, man, let's run this up. I don't want to be like y'all. I ain't interested in living a regular life. I don't want to hang out with y'all. I don't want to do your little stuffy parties. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. That's it. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it. Because I can, you know me, I'll get on a rant and I'll be starting to rant all day. And that's just the way that it is. Casey, what up, Casey? What up, though, man? I appreciate you, Casey, for holding me down for the 20 ball. Yo, we got after hours tonight, so we going to run it up. I think we got the full crew tonight, too. We got the full crew tonight. 392Q says Salt Lake City, a lit but low-key city. Lots of Mormons, though. The YNs bump NBA young boy a lot since he lived there. Yeah, he is here. Magnetar says, do you want to test your audio? Say this. You paid the super chat, so I'm going to say it. Bills beat the Lions back in December 2024. I'll let you know if the audio is good. Okay, I see you. Nice one. Your boy Maul says, continue being yourself. Facts. Eric OG says, do what you do, brother. I'm on it. Western 108 says, Joe Rogan is the only one worth watching. He doesn't talk about race 90% of his podcast. Leroy Strouder says, good morning, AD and the Bag Chasers. We appreciate you over here in New Hope Christian Ministries. Was wondering what age you believe a child's salvation is in their own hands. 11. 11. That's the age. It's 11. Why do I say that? Because that is the age that I was saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, speaking in other tongues as the Spirit of God give utterance. 11. 11 is when I think that you can start to consciously actually make decisions between right and wrong, and when you're going to have to start actually being responsible for yourself. 11 years old. That's the age. 11. At 11 years old, you have to start being spiritually responsible for yourself, and you have to start taking care of your business. 11. Some people saying 12. I feel you. Y'all think it's 12? I think it's 11. 11 is when that's when I really start getting into some stuff. That's when I lost my virginity. That's when I started getting involved with the streets probably a little bit more. I needed to get saved. I needed everything that God had for me in order to keep me. I was in a very good environment. I started becoming obsessed with women. And I ain't no, not girls, women. That was when I started being obsessive with women. Um, I started getting into it. I really did. I started to get active at 11. So, and I knew exactly what I was doing. And I had to start, I had to learn. I had to learn. Now, I was full blown into puberty at 11. I was full blown into puberty at 11. So, yeah, I remember it was this girl named, what was the street behind Stopel? Stopel. It was Stopel, then, let me see. Stopel. Stopel Street. Let me see, Stopel. Yeah, 48221. That's definitely it, Stopel. Santa Rosa. Yep. Santa Rosa. That was the street. Shout out to everybody that lived in the University District over here in Detroit. Nah, we don't kiss and tell. Um, Mika says AD was it between 7 and 8 Mile. No, I live between 7 and 8 Mile. The house where I first met her was between 7 and 6 Mile, closer to Curtis. All right, closer to Curtis. You grew up over there, K Dre, so you know what I'm talking about. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the show. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. You grew up on Wisconsin, Obi. All right, we got some Detroiters in here. They know what's happening. Christopher Spencer says, any tips on, I don't really talk to people that don't have a profile photo, but I'm going to do you a solid this time just because I like your name. It sounds nice and American. Any tips on investing in real estate in Africa? Yeah, don't. I don't know anything about Africa. I invest everything in America. You know what I'm saying? That's my tip. I invest in America. I don't invest in Africa. Somebody says, do you know White Boy Rick? I've met White Boy Rick about 5 times. Took a couple pictures. Most of the time that met White Boy Rick, I actually met him out of town first, and then I started meeting him in Detroit. But I didn't meet White Boy Rick, obviously, until after he got out of jail. And I kicked it with him at the Pistons game a few times, and then I met his people and all of that stuff. He was a cool guy. I don't know the White Boy Rick that y'all know in the movies. I know the White Boy Rick that got out of jail. So I met him a couple times, but I don't know him. I just kind of kicked it with him a few times. So, all right, let's get into it, y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We're going to cover a lot of stuff. I want to cover this whole Carnival cruise situation. A lot of y'all may not be familiar with it, but the first thing that I want to cover is Diddy. All right, so we only going to cover one subject on Diddy, and it's the fact that his bail was denied, and then people are actually wishing for him to get the max sentence. And so I want to deep dive into that. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get it, y'all.
Aaron, we know that sentencing hearing scheduled for the fall. Sean Diddy Combs has already been in custody for about 9 months now, and he's also facing dozens of civil lawsuits. What more does he have ahead of him before that hearing? We know, I think it's on October 3rd.
October 3rd at 10 a.m. is when Sean Combs is going to be sentenced for his conviction on 2 counts of transportation for the purposes of prostitution. Each of those counts carries a maximum penalty of up to 10 years. And so prosecutors pointed out in their letter to the judge, his total exposure is 20 years in prison. And the judge today, Whit, said that Combs's propensity for violence was starkly depicted on that 2016 hotel security camera footage that may well factor into the judge's sentencing decisions. In the meantime, Sean Combs will continue to be incarcerated at MDC in Brooklyn, the federal jail in Brooklyn, where he's been since his arrest. This is at least the third, possibly even the fourth time that bail has been denied.
So for me, I'm a little bit concerned about this. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And the reason that I'm concerned about his sentencing, which doesn't happen until October, so we got some time. And here's another thing that I'm trying to figure out. We got to reform our laws. We have to reform what people are charged with. We have to reform how judges move inside of the United States of America. Because first thing is, why is your sentencing all the way in October? You know what I'm saying? Like, we are in July, August, September, October. So we got to wait 3 months before you get sentenced. So that's the first thing. What up, Molly? So I don't understand why we have to wait 3 months before you get sentenced. That's number one. Number two, obviously, I am super concerned, not just with Diddy, but with the justice system at large, because they are using blanket charges to trump up charges, and they've been doing it for decades against people in order to get them to plead. And that's why the feds have such a high conviction rate, because it's easy for them to try to make it seem like, oh man, I'm going to use these that was created in order for them to go after child traffickers, but we going to use this because you was a freaky person and you had a domestic violence situation and you rich. So I honestly, I think that the biggest thing that we should concern ourselves with, maybe not the biggest, but one of the things that we need to really advocate for as men, as people, is reform when it comes to sentencing guidelines. I think that a lot of this stuff is off, but I'm also very concerned about Diddy. And the reason that I'm very concerned about Diddy is, even though he was not convicted at of the most heinous charge that they tried to get him on, which was racketeering and sex trafficking, the fact that this judge denied him bail is crazy to me. So you already basically beat the case and you can't go home. And so they're still holding you down and still preventing you from being able to get to the crib because you're saying that, oh man, I heard all of this stuff. I heard this. That scares me, right? Not literally, be figuratively for Puff. It scares me because the recommendations and what all of the people are saying is that he should get either time served or 18 months or something like that, right? But the fact that the judge is denying his bail and thinks that Puff would do something to put himself in a compromised position, even after he beat these charges, concerns me, especially in New York, because New York is an incredibly liberal place that often at times overdo things and overcorrect for the things that they think that somebody should have been convicted for. Look no further than Letitia James and all of these people, right? All of these people that are holding these positions in this liberal city, in this liberal state. And so when I see that, it kind of gives me a pause, because even though people are saying that it's a possibility for him to get, or the recommendation is for him to get, 18 months or time served, because he's already been in jail for over a year because they've been denying him bail, he could get up to 20 years even for the prostitution charge. He could get over 20 years or up to 20 years, sentences running concurrent, versus what it is that they're recommending. And the prosecutors is pushing for maximum time. And it's still crazy that you can sentence somebody in a guideline from time served for a year all the way up to 20 years. 20 years? 20 years? I think that that's crazy. I think that is absolutely diabolical. Andrew Cuomo on News Nation had Bill O'Reilly, Stephen A. Smith, and he also had a liberal consultant on, and they were talking specifically about what the possible prison time, the charges, They called Diddy evil. I'm going to present it to you guys right now, and then you guys tell me. And this is kind of the sentiment and some of the things that I would be concerned about.
What do you make of my assessment that this jury was rejecting not just the facts in the case, but the prosecution's overreach?
Well, that's a plausible argument. I'm not going to deny that. It clearly appears that the prosecution did overreach. You had lawyers all over the place swearing that's exactly what happened with the Southern District of New York, and there's no way around it. I mean, we heard some very disgusting things throughout the trial, things that I don't think, from an image perspective, Sean Diddy Combs can recover from. But let me tell you something. He doesn't give a damn about that today. Nope. What he cares about is that he knows that the worst case scenario doesn't involve him spending the rest of his life in prison, because sex trafficking and RICO charges were charges he was acquitted of. And so as a result of all that we heard, I just saw Ray J saying what he said. And the one point that I'd like to peel from that is that you do find yourself looking at the court system, and in this particular instance, the Southern District of New York, and you find yourself saying to them, you tried to convict him in the court of public opinion, because you certainly succeeded in that. All of us look at him with far more than a raised eye.
Oh, wait. Listen, I know I'm not the biggest YouTuber in the world. But I'm telling you, man, I swear to God, people be stealing my shit. And maybe I see NBA players doing podcasts about relationships, and they literally take my talking points. I be seeing people saying a quarter point. I don't see, bro, I don't see nobody say that stuff before me. And again, I know it's gonna be people that's like, yo, no, people said that before you and stuff. Bruh. People be taking my talking points, man. Seriously. I said, no, word up. Ain't done. I seen somebody say underwater basket weaving degree. I was like, JD says Coach Greg said it first. Listen, bro. I don't know if y'all need to check my record, but I've been on this bitch for over 11 years. Maybe you just discovered me, and that ain't no shot at Coach Greg, because I think that Coach Greg is dope. And I've been doing content for over 11 years. I am an OG in this bitch. Like, this ain't new to me. I didn't just pop up and just start getting popular. I've been on the internet for over 11 years. I've been saying some of the same stuff for over 11 years. What are you talking about, bro? I know the video audio is low. It's nothing I can do about that. That's News Nation's problem. I seen somebody say underwater basket weaving degree the other day. I was like, we all get inspired by each other. Let's be clear. But man, anyways, let's get back to it.
Eyebrow. But that wasn't the district attorney's office job. Your job was to get him convicted in the court of law. And you didn't pull it off because your case wasn't strong enough in the eyes of 12 jurors who said there's no way on earth they should send this man to prison for the rest of his natural life, because you didn't prove a case of sex trafficking or racketeering.
Right. And, it'd be one thing if it was even the district attorney. This was the attorney general. This was the federal courts. And for them to do it this way was a big swing and a miss. I mean, he's a guy who did bad things, and everybody knows it, but it doesn't mean that they met this burden. All right, so let's talk about perception and reality on another very big front of our budgeting process. James Carville, there is a notion that Bill O'Reilly will certainly defend.
James Carville is notorious for predicting the wrong outcome for the 2024 election, by the way, guys. Just want to make sure that we're all here
tonight, that you got to pass this bill or we will go into a recession. What do you make of that?
Well, you pass it, we'll probably go into a recession. If you don't pass it, we'll probably go into a recession. I'm not totally sure it's related, but I think Bill is correct. I mean, the Republicans have pushed
way back. I never liked him. I don't like the culture or anything like that. But Sean Combs Republicans win the midterms so he can have 3.5 more years to do what he wants. It's simple as that. I just want to say one thing about the Sean Combs situation.
Oh, sure.
I interviewed him way back. I never liked him. I don't like the culture or anything like that. But he's going to get the maximum. The judge will give him the maximum, just like they gave O.J. Simpson the maximum in Vegas, because he got off Simpson in L.A. when he clearly killed these two people. And then when he got a second crack at him on a minor beef, relatively, of theft, they sentenced him to heavy time. So Diddy will go to prison, and he should. He's evil. And I say that because I just wrote a book called Confronting Evil.
Yeah,
he used narcotics and violence to coerce people to do what he wanted to do. That's evil. Sorry.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Stephen.
Now, back to Trump.
Well, hold on. Stephen wants to weigh in on what you just said. Go ahead.
No.
Okay.
Only thing I want to weigh in, I don't want to castigate the entire culture. I'm tired of, we see pictures of a few bad apples conducting themselves in very disgusting manners and thinking that that's the entire industry. I'm a guy that was raised in the hip hop industry. I know an abundance of hip hop artists and beyond who have never engaged in, never been accused of, never would think of putting themselves in the kind of positions some have obviously done. So I just want to make sure that we're not castigating everybody. I know you don't like the culture. I don't expect you to like the culture, Bill O'Reilly. You're considerably older than some of us. You look good. You're healthy, thank God. But you're from a different generation. I understand that. But for people like me who grew up in the hip hop culture, I know a whole bunch of people that would never get themselves tangled up in such a web. A whole bunch.
It's not about personal behavior for the hip hop industry. It's about the message. And I'm old enough to now school you, Stephen A. If Motown still exists, and that's where I grew up, okay, the Black African-American culture would be a much, let's say, gentler. This hip hop garbage on impressionable children who don't have supervision in the home teaches them to be crude. Motown did not do that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you step back and look at history, the industry of R&B was a tremendous positive for this country. The hip hop industry has been a tremendous negative for this country.
Well, listen, I gotta say one thing, and then I want to move off this. We can do it another time. My kids.
We can do it another time.
As with Stephen A.
Bill O'Reilly said a mouthful. I didn't know that this was what he was going to say. I seen the headlines of him saying that Diddy was going to get the max. I don't think that he knows that. I think that that's what he's hoping for. I believe that he's hoping for it. Now, I think that Bill O'Reilly said one thing that I think is justified, and I think that he said another thing that's not so justified. The thing that he said that's justified is that the culture is trash. I can't say that he's wrong about that. This is great topics for after hours. Let me write it down. He's right. In my personal opinion, I think that the culture is trash. I can't disagree with him. The part that I do disagree with Bill O'Reilly is that Diddy should get the maximum sentence, because again, this is where I think that is very difficult for conservatives and Democrats that are liberal alike. They cannot separate how they feel about the culture from whether or not the person should or shouldn't, justifiably, because he was tried in a court of law. He was judged by a jury of his peers. They said that he does not deserve some of the charges that he was trumped up against him. And I don't believe that it is a crime to be freaky. Domestic violence, cool. Toxic relationship, awesome. Abuse, I'll give you that. But we have to be a country of rules and laws, and it is innocent until proven guilty. And he doesn't like Diddy. He led with it. He said that I interviewed him. I don't like him. Cool. I don't have no problem with him liking it. I don't even have any problem with him saying that the culture is trash. And a lot of the things that we're dealing with today is as a result of the culture. I'm with it. You can't just say that the dude should be going to jail for 20 years because you don't necessarily care for the culture. Rockstars, for example, has done some of the worst things known to man. Drug culture. I will tell you that rock stars, there are some rock stars that are still touring today that probably will make Diddy look like a choir boy. There are some rock stars. Can we attribute, I'll give you an example. Can we attribute men dressing like women and the foundation of it that came from rock and roll? Because I remember the song, Dude Looks Like a Lady. Rock stars was the ones that was really wearing the eyeliner. And they was the ones that was dressing like women. And they was embracing their femininity. But nobody ever says that. Nobody ever attributes some of the toxicity that comes along with what it is that we see today to rock stars. Why? Because they are no longer as popular, and it is not the popular culture that is celebrated as much today. But I don't think that Bill O'Reilly would have this type of energy for any of those type of people. He don't like Diddy. He don't like the black culture and what it's become. Cool, I give you that. But you have to be able to separate how you feel about a culture from whether or not a person is supposed to go to jail for the rest of their life. And that's where I disagree. And this is one of the reasons why I think it is very important. And when y'all go out here, and let me say this too, before we go over to the next thing. When y'all go outside, right? A lot of y'all will sit there and tell me, Anton, it doesn't matter if you vote. Do you know that you are the person that determines some of the judges, some of the legislators, the city council people, the person that then determines whether or not, certain sentences is levied? Y'all got to do some background work. Y'all will sit here and deep dive into Kamala Harris. You'll sit here and deep dive into Trump. You'll go into all of these different people. You know every stat about every single celebrity, but at the same time, you don't know nothing about the person that you're voting for judge. You just vote straight down ballot, all Democrat, all Republican. You don't know nothing about the millages. You don't know nothing about the judges. You don't know nothing about the sheriff that you're about to vote in. You don't know none of that. That judge is going to be the person that determines the culture of what happens as far as when things go wrong inside of your community. And they think a lot of times like Bill O'Reilly, because even though we don't believe in running in the victim Olympics, they can't separate how they feel politically from the person that they're sentencing. And you have to be able to be objective. And this is why you see a lot of these judges challenging a lot of the executive orders that Trump issued. They are Obama appointed judges. They are Biden appointed judges. And that's why the Supreme Court, we spend so much money going up the ladder to the Supreme Court, challenging, appealing. We spend so many tax dollars doing all of this. Why? Because you guys are not participating in the political process, and you think that nothing matters. It matters because they have the same mentality as the Bill O'Reilly. So you can agree with him politically, but it doesn't mean that I stand with you as far as the objectiveness that you're supposed to have when we're upholding the rule of law. He beat the case. There's no way in the world that you're supposed to tell me that he's supposed to spend the rest of his life in prison. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I've been disagreeing with conservatives and Republicans all week long, the Megyn Kellys, the Bill O'Reillys, because we may align politically, but I don't agree with their sentiment when it comes to this. And you can see their bias showing. You can see their hatred showing. You can see their disdain for the culture showing. They're not able to be objective. They're not able to be objective. I am. I'm concerned about what could possibly happen with Diddy with this whole case, because the fact that he didn't get bail kind of sort of gives me a pause. And so while everybody is celebrating, me, myself included, I'm still cautious about the whole situation. Let me read some of these super chats and the cash apps, and then I'm going to continue to go on the show. Jason A-Team says the amount of time is normal. Courts really move that slow, and paperwork is also think is pushed out far enough so that people can forget the case. Nah, we need to speed that up. We got AI, we got all of these technology. We still shouldn't be having an excuse of paperwork in order to send somebody. You know what I'm saying? Jessica Rabbit, shout out to Jessica Rabbit, says, keep up the good work and educating the people. Shout out to Yvette Marie. Appreciate you, baby girl. Says, underwater basket weaving degree has been yours forever. But people will tell me, oh no, somebody else. Who? Where? Game Wise DJ, what up though? I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tuning in tonight on After Hours because we're gonna go into these conversations a little bit more in depth. People was really mad at me on the last one. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe you agree with Molly. I don't care. That's one of the things that makes the show so great is that we authentic in our beliefs, our thoughts, and the things that we talk about. So make sure y'all tune in to After Hours tonight. Let's go local for a second, y'all. I want to go local. And the reason that I want to go local for a quick minute is because in Philadelphia, I heard y'all got a little bit of a problem over there. I heard y'all got a little bit of a problem in Philadelphia. Y'all got a trash problem. They be taking my soundboard also ain't done. I know. I heard that y'all got a trash problem over there in Philadelphia. Who in Philly in here? Who in Philly? Shout out to Sherelle Parker. Sherelle Parker is the mayor of Philly, I believe. And I heard y'all got a trash problem. Let me go ahead and share this with y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
To the bargaining table today for the city and District Council 33. Both sides pausing after 12 hours of negotiations Wednesday, wrapping up only very early this morning. Today is day 3 of the city workers' strike, and Mayor Parker, she had this message trying to encourage residents.
The people of our great city of Philadelphia, that we will make it through this storm, and we will make it through this storm together. I want to thank you for your patience, for your understanding, and knowing that your city of Philadelphia, even in the midst of this strike and the work stoppage, is doing everything that we possibly can and using every tool and resource available.
Well, with workers still on the picket line, mounds of trash, as we've been telling you, they are piling up all over the city. Dumpsters are set up for people to dump their trash. Well, those are now overflowing, and some are now actually tossing their garbage right into the street. CBS News Philadelphia's Jan Carabeo live in South Philadelphia, where, Jan, it's understandable why these residents are getting more frustrated as the strike continues. Good morning.
Janelle, good morning. It is the sight, it is the smell, it is the rodents that are attracted to these huge piles of garbage, and this problem continues to grow.
Oh, man, that's not a good look, y'all. Philly, y'all got to do better, bro. Philly, they got y'all over a barrel over there. Y'all got to do better, bro. Y'all throwing y'all trash on the street, Philly? So if y'all don't have a trash can, you don't take it and actually take it over to whatever the facilities are that process the trash, you telling me you're too lazy. And all y'all gonna now develop is a bigger rodent problem. And it's hot outside. Y'all done. The longer that this goes, the worse it's gonna get. Somebody said no disrespect to Philly, but y'all city always look dirty. I've never been to Philly before, so I don't know anything about it. I don't know as much about it. But if that's what y'all, I looked at a video on Instagram. And there was trash piled into the street, lined up for as long as your eye can see. It was almost like people took this type of dumpster and they just dumped it all into the street. I couldn't believe it. People had basically just dumped all of their trash into the street. So now you have city leaders that is negotiating with the union. The union is striking and saying that they want more money, more benefits, and all of that. Now, we know that the majority of these blue cities are absolutely hamstrung, right? We know that they filing for bankruptcy. They ain't got no money, but the unions don't care about that. The workers don't care about that. They like, listen, I want my money and I want it now. I don't really care about what it is that you're doing. And so what we going to do is we going to stand tall and we going to stand on strike. And now the residents are going to start to revolt, which then reflect back on the city leaders because the city leaders can't negotiate a decent deal with the union in order to make sure that they got some, decent trash services. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Look at that.
With each garbage bag that is thrown onto the heap there. We're coming to you live from the corner of Broad and Snyder Avenue. You can see that dumpster is filled to the...
Did you just see the dude that just dropped it right there in the street?
Live from the corner of Broad and Snyder.
Hold on. The people are holding their nose as they're walking by, and another person is actually walking up to throw his trash right there in a white man
bag that is thrown onto the heap there. We're coming to you live from the corner of Broad and Snyder Avenue. You can see that dumpster is filled to the brim and now overflowing. People who are dropping off their trash before heading to work or anywhere else today, they have to drop the...
And let me tell you, that's crazy. Y'all some wild boys over there in Philly. Y'all some wild boys over there in Philly. Y'all just walk up right there in front of the camera and just throw your trash right there? Ugh. Awesome. And let me tell you what else people do. A lot of times, people drive out of their way to drop their trash off in a different neighborhood so that it doesn't affect them. So, like, for example, I would be willing to bet money, and I bet you that I'm right more than I'm wrong, is that people will actually, like, it's not going to be anybody that lives close or anything like that. It's going to be somebody that takes their trash out, but they don't want it to affect their neighborhood. And so what they'll do is then they'll dump it somewhere else. That's what we used to have as a problem in Detroit. When people would dump tires or they would dump trash or whatever like that, what they would do is they wouldn't want to go to the landfill, or they wouldn't want to go to the facilities that actually handled that. And so what they would do is they would go out late at night and they would just dump it in a neighborhood that they felt like was a little bit more downtrodden and it wasn't a good neighborhood. And so in order to preserve their stuff, they just dumped everything over there, and then they would let the city have to deal with it and pick it up. That's what they did in the city on a regular basis. We had that problem, and then it would make it seem like, oh man, Detroit ain't got it together. No, it would be people from the suburbs, it would be companies from the suburbs, it would be people that's doing work, and then they would go and they would dump it in a less than ideal neighborhood or into a lot, an abandoned or a vacant lot, and then they would dump it and expect for the city to come and pick it up. And that's how you started to deal with. That's how we started to develop some of the blight that we would deal with. And people basically drive it down, and they do that. Now, what happens in suburban neighborhoods, and this is across the board, the city services is much different than a lot of these suburban neighborhoods. One of the reasons why we have HOAs, or you have HOAs, is because they are basically taking care of their own stuff as well as putting restrictions on the things that you can and can't do inside of the neighborhood. So now you're seeing one of the benefits of the HOAs, because the HOA will hire their own trash company to get the trash. They hire their own mosquito spraying for the summer. They make sure that they do the streets to where do all of the cracks in the streets. And so then you don't have that same type of problem where you're dependent on city services. So if you don't have good leadership inside of your city, this is the type of stuff that you're going to deal with. If you don't have good city services inside of your city, this is the type of stuff that you're going to deal with. This is a failure of leadership. And obviously, we still see the uncivilized ones in society that's continuing to throw trash, even though the dumpster is full. But this is the failure of leadership. Hold your leadership accountable.
the trash off beside the dumpster now on the street here on Snyder Avenue. And this is just one of 63 trash drop-off spots located across the city as Philadelphia city workers continue to strike today. CBS News Philadelphia here as neighbors all morning long dropped off trash to these trash heaps. The city tells us that they are monitoring drop-off locations just like this one to see if more dumpsters need to be added. They say the dumpsters are scheduled to be serviced multiple times a day, but it can take those crews some time to make their way around the city. So city leaders are asking for people's patience. But as you can imagine, neighbors just want the strike to end soon. They say this is a nightmare situation. We spoke to one man who tossed his trash into his car and made the hot, smelly ride to one of these drop-off sites. Take a listen.
Believe me, it was smelling by the time I got here, and I'm only a block and a half away. It's a disgrace, really. I think it is. I mean, it's such a short period of time, and look at a big mound of trash there is.
Give them whatever they want and just come back to work.
So when could that happen? Well, we're told, as Janelle mentioned, negotiations wrapped up early this morning, right before 1:30, and will resume later.
So basically what the city is doing is contracting work out to Waste Management. They created 60-something sites. Waste Management then comes in and picks it up on certain, every multiple different times throughout the day. But Waste Management is basically servicing an entire city of Philadelphia. What is the population of Philadelphia? Let me see. $1.5 million people is allegedly in Philadelphia as of 2023 census.
Today. In the meantime, with no deal in place, scenes like this will be playing out across the city.
I don't think that Waste Management, I don't think it's a Waste Management problem. Okay, so the cities usually have their own trash services. All right, so that's usually what happens. I think the city is basically subsidizing because the workers are on strike for their own personal trash services. And so the city is bringing in an external company to basically come in and pick up and drop off the trash. Jay Graham, stop. Don't do that, Jay Graham. Don't do that. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about Patreon conversations inside of the regular inside of the chat. We don't talk about Patreon conversations on the regular show. That's not what we do. We got Stock Club coming up, and we're going to have that conversation, but that's not what we do, big dog. That's not what we do. We don't have Patreon conversations. If you want to do that, then you can take it over to the Discord. And the link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon. But we don't talk about none of that. We don't talk about our portfolios. We don't go into that. We leave that be. All right, we good, Jay Graham. Thank you for the apology. Let's stay focused, y'all. Let's stay focused. Let's get back into this conversation about Philly trash.
Jennifer, already having a big impact on so many neighborhoods. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, I mean, very similar. This dumpster is overflowing. It has, gone past the brim here, and you can see the overflowing garbage on the sides as well. And as it stands,
all trash companies are basically being deployed to try to service this problem, and it's right next to it looks like a park.
Definitely smells like garbage, but every time someone decides to throw one of the garbage bags and add it to the top, there's a waft of that, garbage smell that you can really start to smell as people come along here. But, a lot of people have been stopping by, some who are just carrying bags of trash, now they're just kind of dumping it right beside the dumpster. So a lot of people just frustrated by this experience. And a lot of people who I spoke to also saying they will not be taking for granted trash service and the people who do the job.
I think it's a little ridiculous because trash is like a non-negotiable.
Up and down residential streets in Philadelphia, the trash was taken out but never picked up.
Honestly, just makes it super congested as well with everybody that's walking around and smelly, of course.
The city's largest municipal workers union, District Council 33, went on strike as soon as the clock struck midnight July 1st. Its 9,000 members work across city service departments, but the most visible impact so far are the sanitation workers on strike.
I was bummed because we had a lot of trash outside our house.
The city set up over 60 temporary drop-off sites like this one on 18th and Catherine Streets.
Bringing it for the elderly neighbors that can't really walk it over.
Some walked blocks with garbage bags in hand, while others pulled up and pulled out trash bags from their trunks.
This is ridiculous. There was no plan.
Ryan Thornburg and his neighbors in Graduate Hospital worry a mountain of garbage will attract unwanted pests.
They just told us to bring the trash to a corner. They didn't have the dumpster until, an hour ago? Pay the workers. This is ridiculous. Now we live next to a dump.
We don't have problems with rodents or anything like that on this block. So I'm hoping they'll do just like what they say.
Neighbors were told the dumpster will be emptied tonight, but what they'd really like to see is a new contract so the DC 33 strike can be over.
But I think it's really embarrassing because a lot of people are going to come to the city this week and there's going to be a ton of trash everywhere.
Solve it. Get it done.
It's hot. It's going to be smelly, but we'll survive.
A lot of people don't even know what the hell is going on until something like this happens. Then everybody want to get engaged. Hey, what's going on with politics and city services? Man, listen, most cities have a weekly meeting or they have multiple different meetings. The most large cities, smaller cities is a little bit different, but most cities have weekly meetings that would allow for you to actually voice your concerns. You can pay attention to different contracts that's going on. You don't even have to go into the meetings themselves because they usually happen in the daytime and you can listen online, all of that different stuff. A lot of people ain't even familiar with what goes on, but don't you want to know where your tax dollars are going? Don't you want to know that when they put together a proposed budget or some of the issues that they have coming up in whatever city that you live in respectively, that you can pay attention to what's going on? Some of y'all didn't even know that this was happening until I started talking about it. So you can find out more about what's going on in your city before it starts to happen so that you can vote in or have a conversation and then put your input in on what goes inside of your city. But most people don't want to engage. You don't believe that your tax, you let them spend your tax dollars without any kind of representation, and you just expect for things to just go as normal. Then you wonder why your taxes get raised because everybody over there in city services want to raise, and they're going to start striking. And in order for them to pay them, you got to pay more money, which then causes more layoffs because there's a fiscal budget crisis that's happening. And most of these liberal cities don't know how to manage their budget effectively. And this is why you start to see these situations. It's messed up. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with turning on notifications. Let me read a couple of these super chats. Let me go over to the Cash App real quick. In a second. What's going on with 2K?
Think about it, nothing hurts more. Dude, yes.
I need to call my dog real quick. I'm going to call him after the show. I need to find out what's going on with 2K. Shout out to my dog, Mike, that dude. I appreciate you. Also, ESDC, thank you for holding us down on Cash App. And also, shout out to our streets on Venmo. Shout out to our streets on Venmo, bro. Let me also tackle some of these. I agree, Philly do look dirty, says Skinny Boy Django. B-Rod says, is this a good chance to invest in WM stock? Boys, I think we're about to be up. We talk about it inside of the Patreon, y'all. I give y'all the full layout. I show y'all the charts. I show y'all what my portfolio is and all of that. So if y'all want to know what it is that we're doing, do we need to get 2K's bail up? Somebody hit me up and let me know what's going on if we got to go and get my guy out. Somebody let me know what's going on. Bill O'Reilly, Carrington Love Jr. says Bill O'Reilly has some never talking about Diddy and his career ended on a sexual assault. Me too. Diddy didn't sexually assault anybody. Do I got to go get my guy out? The Great Way says I'm in NYC, so I'll stay out of this Philly combo. Them y'all neighbors. Y'all want to hold that down? Is 2K, do we got to get 2K up? Somebody give me some insight on what's going on in 2K. Because if we got to go and make a move, if we got to go and shoot a move and bust a move, then we got to go and take them out. Get them out of there. I need to know what's going on with my guy. Y'all give me some insight, man. Let me know what's going on with 2K. Anybody know about 2K, y'all let me know, bro.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box.
Y'all find out what's going on. If somebody watching this said know what's happening, y'all let me know what's going on. And if we got to go and get him out, then that's what we got to do. We got to take care of family. I don't give a fuck what he did. We'll sort the rest of it out later. Find out what's going on, y'all. And somebody said let him sit down. Law is law. Family is family, nigga. I know you ain't never had nobody loyal for you in your life like that, but we don't let family sit down like that. We handle family business within family. So yeah, find out, Quentin. Let me know what's going on. See what y'all can find out, and then we gonna go and get that taken care of. I don't care what the cost is. I don't care. Got to get a lawyer. We can beat all of that shit. We don't leave nobody. We don't let nobody sit down. We not like Diddy's friends. We not like Diddy's friends. If we got to take a flight to go and get him, then we just gonna have to go take a flight. We not like Diddy's friends. We got to go and get that shit taken care of, y'all. So, because let me tell y'all something. Ain't no point in gossiping about it online. Because see, you know what I hate? I hate when people have so much to say and they always doing reaction videos and shit, but ain't nobody gonna actually stand up for him and go and take care of business. Listen, if y'all a part of the messy mafia, y'all should have already been on top of that shit. If y'all love him and support him, y'all should have been holding him down. Because my people ain't gonna let me suffer. My people ain't gonna let me suffer. You said I can't get him out without being there. Boy, I can call a lawyer down there and have that shit taken care of tomorrow. I don't know what, or today. So all I need is the information. So when did this happen? I can't stand when people, oh man, have you heard about it? No, I don't want to hear about it. I want to know what we doing about it. I don't want to hear nothing about what we could talk about the issue after we get it sorted out. I don't want to hear about it. I want to know what we gonna do about that shit. Fuck all the gossiping. We can gossip about it and try to make some money off of that junk later. I'm not watching no video. I want to know what we gonna get this junk taken care of. Care about none of that. Somebody said the thing is you should have helped 2K before he got into the situation of going to jail. Let me tell you something, bro. I don't know everybody's business. All I know is when I find out that somebody is going through something that I love. What you mean I should have helped them out before? I don't know nothing that's going on. Don't you see me asking what the fuck is going on? I hate you niggas. I hate some of y'all. I don't get involved in people's business. All I know is we figure it out and then we sort it out afterwards. So y'all find out what's going on, and then y'all send me an email and give me whatever is happening, and then we gonna figure it out from there. All right. I see the email of y'all saying what happened. I don't care about that right now. Only thing I care about is how do we get him out and how do we get him in a situation. So you saw it on Sarah's page. I think it's all good, bro. Is he out though? Is what I want to know. Is he out before we continue the show? Check the group chat. All right. For his wife, for Sarah, ask her if she need anything. Whatever she need, I know y'all giving updates in the group chat. Whatever Sarah need, tell her we got her. So whatever she need, just let her know. Ask her if she need anything. So I know they gonna handle their own business. They got their own family. We don't need to know the details of it. I don't have her number, so for y'all, ask her if she need anything. Whatever she need, just let her know. Just ask her, and then we gonna take care of it. All right, we gonna get that shit sorted out. All right, y'all. Let's continue on with the show. What was we talking about? All right. Yee's Bay says you a great friend, bro. I don't look at it like that. I don't think that. It's like, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the compliment. But let me say this. I don't think that we deserve credit for doing the things that we supposed to do for the people that we supposed to be holding down. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it's like when people say, "Oh man, you're a good father," and it's like, no, we supposed to take care of our kids. It's the same thing when it comes to friendship. Don't say that you down with somebody because see, when somebody actually is going through something, that's when we gonna find out how loyal you really are. Otherwise, just don't say nothing. Don't say you rock with somebody. Don't say you holding somebody down. Don't say that we homeboys. Don't say none of that stuff, right? Like this is just supposed to be regular. This is how we was raised. This is how we was raised in our neighborhoods. This is how we was raised with our brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the way that we supposed to be. We not supposed to just wait till somebody get out and then want to get the exclusive. I don't even want it exclusive. When it happened, when he get out, I'ma tell him, listen, don't say nothing to nobody. We got to make sure that we get a lawyer and make sure that we get shit sorted out. And 2K good. 2K got money. He don't need nothing, but I just want to let him know that we got him. And if he do ever need something, you will never know about it. We just got to make sure that we take care of each other because I would like to think that people would do the same thing for me. Yvette says, Anton, I've been wanting to catch up with you, but I lost your number. Email me, Yvette, and we'll kick it. We'll catch up. James Watt says, salute a day in the bag chasers. Almost lost my life in that mass shooting here in Chicago yesterday. Really? I seen that on the news, but I didn't know that any of y'all was in there doing security. Yet Brandon Johnson says crime is down. We don't trust Brandon Johnson. Carrington Love Jr. says he does it seem like a drug dealer or a serial killer. He'll be fine for 2 hours and back to the show. Executive Suite Emily says, I know for a fact that Anton looks out for his people. He will make that happen, even if he got to go through a third party to do it. Well, that's because you know me in real life, right? 392Q says you're a real one. Either he going to be out today or Monday. I want him out today. I don't want him sitting in there over no weekend. I don't want him sitting in there over the weekend, bro. He got to get out today. That's why we got to be on this shit right now, bro. We got to get him out today because tomorrow is the 4th of July, and then it's hard to get people out for the weekend. So we got to get them out today. If it's still a problem, we got to get them out today. It's got to happen now. So, all right, y'all. Let's refocus on the show until we find out more information. Let me just check my phone real quick. He has to see a judge first. They're making him sit because the judges are not working today. All right. Well, fine. Just find out as much as y'all can. Oh, this shit is stressing me out, bro. All right, y'all. I know that y'all gonna be on it. I know y'all got it taken care of. Just let me know what it is that I need to do, and then we'll make it shake. Let's talk about. Oh, I want to go over to Florida really quickly, y'all. I want to go over to Florida really quick because Florida got a new super speeder law. Have y'all heard about this? Have y'all heard about the new super speeder law in Florida? All right, so apparently somebody got caught with the super speeder law. I'm just now finding this out because people sent it to me. So I decided that I'm going to go ahead and present it to y'all, and then we're going to figure it out from there. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and then turn on your notifications. This is what's happening in Florida.
70 miles an hour. You're doing 104 coming behind me. As of 3 minutes ago, it is now an arrestable offense to do in excess of 100 miles an hour in the state of Florida.
A man in Orange County caught driving 104 miles an hour just 2 minutes after a new law took effect. Officers all across Florida are now able to arrest drivers going more than 100 miles an hour. It's all part of the new super speeder law that went into effect on July 1st.
And that new law comes just as one of the busiest travel periods of the year gets underway. Fox 35's Morgan Parrish has more on road safety ahead of the 4th of July holiday.
The roads are filling up fast, and not just here in Central Florida. AAA estimates more than 72 million Americans will travel by car this 4th of July weekend, with Orlando topping the list of domestic destinations.
With Central Florida being the #1 domestic travel destination for July 4th, this holiday, we are upping our staffing and we are ensuring our Road Ranger team are ready and willing to assist.
The Florida Department of Transportation is activating its safety patrol, assisting stranded drivers and working to clear crashes quickly to prevent backups.
I've seen a lot over the years. And safety has always been at the heart of everything that FDOT does, right? We want everybody to get home safely. But really in the last 4 to 5 years, we really have this renewed focus on safety, which we call Target Zero. And that's a goal of 0 fatalities and serious injuries on our roadways.
And with Florida's new super speeder law now in effect, cracking down on drivers going 50 plus miles per hour over the limit, FHP says they already caught one violator just minutes after midnight on July 1st.
The reason being stopped, the speed limit's 70 miles an hour. You're doing 104.
If you're doing 50 miles over the posted speed limit, or again, 100 or more, you could face 30 days in jail and a $500 fine, or both. If you do a second time, it could be 90 days in jail, a $1,000 fine, or both.
Troopers will be on high alert all weekend, watching for reckless, impaired, and distracted drivers. The message: buckle up, slow down, and don't drive under the influence.
Let's make sure everybody gets home safe. We all want to enjoy this 4th of July holiday together, so let's make those smart driving choices. You'll get there when you get there.
Whether you're
All right, so let me look at this. Let me show y'all this. So Florida's super speeder law, officially known as the dangerous excessive speeding law, makes driving 50 miles per hour or more over the speed limit or at 100 miles per hour or higher a criminal offense. Let me say that again for the people in the back. It's not only 50 over. So if the speed limit is 70, that does not mean that you have to hit 121 miles an hour. We're going to use our math. You don't have to hit 121 miles an hour in order to get arrested for the super speeder law. It's either 50 over or over 100 miles an hour. Okay. So this is what it says. They making that a criminal offense. So that's not just a civil, that's not just a speeding ticket no more. It's a criminal offense, probably a misdemeanor. It says this is the first time offenders can face up to 30 days in jail, a $500 fine, or both, with repeat offenders within a 5-year period facing 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine, plus potential license suspension. The law aims to reduce speeding and improve road safety, particularly during the holiday weekend. So they're already telling you that because it's the 4th of July, they're going to be out there way more, and they basically going to be sitting on the highways. All right, let me deep dive a little bit more. The law targets drivers, excessive speed. Okay, I got it. Previously, such excessive speeding was a civil infraction. The new law makes it a criminal offense. Penalties for the first time, you can get up to 30 days in jail. And then you can get up to 90 days in jail, plus a 6-month license suspension. That means you got to sit down for 3 months, and you can get a 6-month license suspension. Increase in patrols. Okay, all right. So here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing. If anybody has ever been in Florida, the first time that I went to Florida, the first time that I was down in Miami, I was like, what the fuck? Everybody on the highway. I don't care if you're going through tolls or whatever. Everybody, it seems in Miami, be gunning it. They gun it. If you are a granny driver, or I guess everybody possibly becoming a granny driver. If you are a granny driver, if you are a DoorDash driver, well, I guess that don't even really matter, because all of the DoorDashers down in Miami and Southern Florida, they actually ride scooters. They don't even drive cars. No DoorDasher, no Uber Eats person, none of those type of people, they don't drive cars. They all own electric bikes, scooters, and mopeds. All right. So usually a lot of them are illegal. Most of them are foreigners. And so a lot of those people don't even speak English, and they don't mess around. But when you go down to Southern Florida, they gun it. They fly. Oh my God. Don't get in the fast lane. Don't get none of that. You're going to have lights flashing in the back of you if you're just doing a speed limit, all of that type of stuff, right? So they be getting it. And I guess it's maybe because their roads is a little bit better. But somebody said common sense, just invest in a radar. Wrong, Ant 305. You're wrong. Don't just invest in a radar. What you're going to have to do is slow your bitch ass down. You can't be out there speeding, bro. You can't be out there killing people. It's the facts. And as a person that likes to drive fast myself, when the law adjusts, you got to adjust with it, unless you're trying to sit in jail. Listen, man, when they start talking about jail time and doing an arrest and sitting in jail overnight and stuff like that, that's when I start to look at things a little bit differently. I'm like, you know what? We had a good run. We did some phenomenal things, but now we're just going to have to make some adjustments. We had a good run. We had a phenomenal run. Now I'm just going to have to chill. And somebody's saying invest, bro, you should never, ever be doing 50 over. You should not be doing 50 over, bro. Nobody should be doing 50 over. I'm just going to keep it 100. Y'all need to go out there to, Europe on the Autobahn. Y'all need to go out there. You can go as fast as you want. You can gun it. You can gun it. You can go as fast as you want. Because, see, we talking about speeding right now on the Autobahn. Yeah, they don't mess around on the Autobahn. We talking about speeding, but here's the thing about speeding now. When I see people flying, right, that's coming behind me, most people panic. They don't know what to do. And I'm not talking about people that's just going faster in a fast lane that they want you to get over or whatever. I'm talking about people that are flying. You know, the motorcycles, the Hellcats, all of that shit, and they doing 140, 150 miles an hour, and they weaving through traffic. When you see that shit in your rear view, don't move. Just keep going the same speed that you're doing. because a lot of times people try to get out the way, and that's how somebody end up dying. Because their reaction time has to be quicker. So they're basically depending on traffic still going exactly the same way that it's going. And so when you move over, you basically impede their reaction time. And so they can't react as quick because the way that their eyes are seeing traffic, they're already sort of speaking, calculating how they're going to weave in through traffic. You just got to stay still, bro. Somebody gonna die. That's death speed, bro. Honestly, that's death speed. You talking about, look, one clip, one patch in a road, one pothole, you dead. Somebody gonna die. And usually the person that dies is the innocent person that get ran into. That's usually the person that get killed. And so, you can't have that type of stuff going on, bro. You got to move a little differently. You got to be a little bit more careful. You got to you can't be out here putting people's lives on the line. There be little kids in the car and shit like that. And y'all just like, man, just get a radar. No, nigga, stop going 50 miles an hour over the speed limit. Y'all do know that they got tracks for that, right? You can actually go to the track. You can track your car. If you want to race, y'all never want to do nothing legal. That's the problem. Y'all never want to do anything legal. You can go to the track. They got tracks in every single major city in the United States of America. You can register. You can go to the track. You can have track days. You can go and race your car. You can go and take. Most of y'all don't even know how to drive. That's the biggest part about it. Most of y'all don't even know how to drive. Most of y'all don't know shit about a car. You don't know nothing about it. All you do is gun it. I'm tired of seeing your little punk ass Ford Fusion driving real fast, and you have no clue. You don't even know how to launch your car without the launch mode on your car. You don't even know how to launch your car without the launch mode on your car. You don't know nothing about a car. You don't even know what you got under the hood. I can't stand these Ford Fusions trying to race. You think that you put a cold air intake on your car and then you change the exhaust. You straight pipe it, and then all of a sudden you the motherfucking man. You a racer. Man, get your ass off the get off the road. Get off the road. You don't know what you're doing. Get off the road. Go to the track, bro. Just go to the track. But Florida is not messing around, so fuck around and find out if you want to. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to move over to the next part of the show. Mess around and find out if you want to. People just be racing for no reason. This is what morals and standing on business look like. Shout out to my dog, J Ben. I rock with you, bro. Free to bro. YN voice, says Chris Cunningham. I'm late, but did you mention when Stock Club was? And I'm going to post it inside of the Patreon. Brando says, I guess it's a Southern thing because in the ATL, everybody goes 100 plus on the highway, even the police. Eric Williams says, shout out to you, Anton. You're definitely a real one and a true friend. Whole 2K is okay. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have two very good friends. We family, bro. Brendan says, Florida man here, if the new law states max velocity is under 100 miles per hour or over 100 miles an hour or 50 miles an hour over speed limit, then cap my speedometer. Nope, you're going to have some self-control. Florida Panoramic says we drive faster in the rain. Floridians don't care. Maurice says, what up, AD? Jumped on in real time. It's my birthday. My present to you in the back. Shout out to Maurice. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you for holding me down. Happy birthday. AC Reviews the World said in South Carolina is more than 25 miles an hour can get you in jail for the night with a misdemeanor. It happened to me when I was younger. They could throw reckless driving on you without even thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Let's get into this Carnival conversation. Let me pull this up because this is a big deal. So I finally want to address this whole Carnival conversation, and I want to get into it. Ignore the people that's saying it. No, we gonna profile. Y'all ready to profile? Are y'all ready to profile? Let's profile some people, y'all. Give me a second. I got y'all. We about to profile like a mug. All right, y'all. So let me get my lower third together. Let me get it together. Because I got a feeling some people going to get in their emotions about this. So we got to talk about it. Let me get it all the way together. We're going to play two different videos and we're going to get it from two different perspectives. All right, let's get to it, y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. I don't know why I laugh when I just show this because it fits before I even play the video. Before I even play the video, man. Because we're going to get it from two different perspectives. Ladies, I got to ask a question. Why do y'all pull out your camera and y'all be looking like who, what, when, where, why, and how? Obviously you working from home and, you know, you got the headset on that shows that you're a call center rep, obviously, right? And we just, before y'all ever even open up y'all mouth, we profiling y'all. Everybody deserves to get profiled. Everybody profiles. Everybody deserves to get profiled. Everybody profile. When I look at this person right here, what I say to myself is they probably rolled right out of bed and they jumped right on the phone and they always got the same look. Bull ring nose, septum ring. They might have a lip piercing, probably got a tongue piercing, maybe even got a little box piercing, right? They always jump on with the bonnet and they always saying, let's normalize bonnets, right? Now we got additional context because this is not uncommon either. Remember when grandmother used to have the plastic couches or she used to have the African vases and then whatever. Y'all grandmothers was so tacky. They had no sense of style. They found every gaudy piece that they can find and found every African piece. And for whatever reason, they thought it was art, right? They found every single gaudy piece. Every wall had a mirror or some African painting on it or an African thing from TJ Maxx. All of them had the same thing, plastic, and then sometimes they would have that plastic runner when you first come into the door. Grandma's tacky as hell. And you used to go into the furniture store and they will find the most blinged out thing that they can find. Get the clear crystal thing, ceiling fan, clear crystal, vase over here. That's not style, just to let y'all know. Because a lot of y'all are starting to do the same thing that y'all grandma did. That's not style. Y'all got a black girl magic, black girl reading a book on a picture in the background, something like that, right? That's not style. But let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Carnival Cruise Lines, this is the debate happening between two different types of people.
So is it just me or is Carnival Cruise sending a clear message that they don't want a certain type of people, which is Black people, on their boat? So I've been seeing videos. Me and my family, we go on a cruise.
Did y'all hear I didn't catch this the first time that I had watched the video. Did y'all hear the smoke detector? Listen.
they don't want a certain type of people, which is black people, on their boat. So I've been
It's usually how I can tell if a person is working from home also because I can hear, like if I call into a call center or something like that, I can usually tell if a person is working from home or if they actually in the office because I can hear the smoke detector in the background. But let's get to it.
been seeing videos. Me and my family, we go on a cruise, a family cruise every year. I've never been on a cruise where there's been a fight. I've never been on a cruise where there has even been an argument. I know it happens, but it seems like the once out of every thousand of cruise they go on a year, y'all try to promote that only black people be fighting and stuff on a boat when most of the videos y'all see a group of black people actually vibing. Last video I just seen, um, it was a group like after the club, they were doing flips in the hallway, like having a flip contest. It's normally just fun, but these bands are becoming very targeted. So first they ban speakers, then they ban fans, like the hand fans. So they was playing boots on the ground. So no more boots on the ground. They ban fans. So now they have a dress code in the nightclub, which I've never seen that before. This dude had his shirt open and a man came up to him and told him to close his shirt. I've never seen that. It's a hot ass cruise.
So wait. So y'all, because I went on a cruise one time, probably maybe like 20 years ago. Y'all out there with no shirt on the dance club floor and the side of the club inside of the Carnival cruise line. Y'all late at night after y'all get drunk and y'all leave the cruise club, y'all over there flipping inside of the flipping outside of other people's cabins. I've seen videos where people were smoking on the cruise, like smoking trees on the cruise. I've seen videos where people are sneaking trees and alcohol onto the cruise. I've seen videos of people fighting on the cruise. I've seen to where like the pools is completely overtaken by all people that's doing a fan, that's doing the Quentin song. Whoa, I got my boots on the ground. I've seen all of those type of videos. I've seen videos where it's like an egregious amount of food and plates that's left outside of the doors and all of that. So the way that she's, yeah, that is a hell of a freeze frame. The way that she's describing this, she's trying to describe it like, oh no, young people are just having good fun. And I don't think that that's what's happening. I think Carnival is starting to experience a certain element, which is not all black people, but it's always an element. And y'all always got this Me Too mentality. Y'all see something on TikTok and y'all got to go. Y'all don't even know a brunch spot unless it was on TikTok. You go to the latest place based off of if it was on TikTok. You go to now y'all was all going to Tulum because it was on TikTok. Y'all was all going to Cancun because it was on TikTok. Now y'all all going to carnivals on Afterpay and Klarna because it's on TikTok. And it's like y'all don't have no mind of y'all own. I don't know why that is. It's like you see one ghetto person wake up to something and now everybody got to do it. That's when I don't want to go no more because now I'm like, everybody know about it. I got to find something else to do.
We in the Caribbean and it's hot as fuck. Then y'all are now banning rap music in a club. So everybody else gets to have their night of music. There's 80s night, 90s night, and rock and country, but no rap music. It's a clear message that they're showing. Me and my family, we, like I said, we take a cruise every year. But after seeing all of these bands and how targeted they're becoming towards black people, this might be the last year we take a cruise on Carnival and we have to find another cruise line because I don't like that. We are your biggest demographic of people who book on your cruise.
So I don't know where y'all get these stats from, and y'all got to wake the fuck up because Carnival Cruise Lines, and not just Carnival, a lot of people were doing things and they were surviving before y'all ever come along. This is victim mentality. So now Carnival Cruise is supposed to let y'all fuck up a bag for who their biggest demographic has been traditionally. It has been people that have been taking cruises long before boots on the ground came off. There has been people that have been doing cruises way before boots on the ground. And then all of a sudden, y'all are the biggest demographic. Where did you get that from? Where did you get that from? Where did you get that from? How was that a thing? When did y'all become the biggest demographic? When did only black people were the ones that's taking cruises? Are y'all the ones that promoted on social media? And that's what you're starting to see. And this is where the fatigue come from. This is why she not even old enough to know whether or not people is on a cruise. I think that there is a group of people that's now starting to pull back that have been cruising for a long time. I've also, shout out to Rob Brown. I'm going to read this super chat shortly. I've heard of people that have paid to basically retire on cruises. They use their entire monies, all of their money, to literally just go on cruises once they retire. There are people that want to live on a cruise ship. And y'all think that just because you pay $200 for the bottom cabin, that then warrants for you to have an all-you-can-eat buffet. Don't tip the staff after you get off the boat, and then everybody is just supposed to put up with your bullshit. There are retirement cruisers. There are people that cruise year-round. But your dollar, the black dollar, all of a sudden is the one that is the most important. Okay, so let's get the other perspective then. All right. So this is one of the ladies that say that she cruises a lot and that Carnival will no longer be going to get her dollar. This is what she had to say.
Y'all go ahead and get your hate out. Get all your names you're going to call me and get that out of your system.
Funny, you know what's so funny? White people already know that they're going to be labeled as racist way before they ever even open up their mouth. So they have to make an informed decision. They got a decision to make before they ever get online. The decision is, do I actually say what I really feel and tell the truth, knowing that people are going to call me racist, knowing that people are going to say that they can call me a Karen, knowing that they're going to say that I'm discriminating and they're going to try to find out where it is that she works. White people already know what they in for way before they ever even get online. They already know. They already know what's coming. Go ahead and get your insults out. Say what you gotta say, because I made up in my mind and I said that I'm gonna tell it before I even tell it. They already know. I'm sorry, Arthur. We don't address people that have no profile photos. And I say this on a regular basis. I don't know how y'all don't hear this. You are a subscriber because you're able to type in the chat. As far as I'm concerned, you are one of the kids that jerk off in your socks if you don't have a profile photo. And you are commenting the things that you are commenting. So we no longer pay attention to faceless icons with the letter on it. We don't know who you are. And so if you don't have a profile photo, you don't exist to us. Keep jerking off inside of your socks and, keep doing what you do. All right, let's go ahead and get into the video, y'all.
But for your information, I have been on 9 cruises since 1993. The ones through 2005 were not cheap, but they were very nice cruises. The people that worked the ship were nice. The people that were on the cruise were nice. You didn't go to the dining room dressed like you were going to the pool. There was a certain amount of decorum required. When you got up in the morning, you could go through early in the morning, because I was. You could go through the breakfast and get coffee and a donut. They had a continental breakfast that early. and then go to what's called the Serenity deck, and you could sit there and drink your coffee and enjoy.
Let me just see something real quick. I got to see for myself. Save up to $950 per room. Is this how y'all plan y'all cruises? I agree. Starting from $274 per person. Listen, I'm all for a good deal, but I'm straight because that's just going to bring a certain element. Four-day cruise at $254 per person. No wonder that they bring in a certain element. No wonder. Oh, and you can finance this shit? Y'all doing a $300 onboard credit plus interest-free financing if you get the MasterCard. Oh, no. No wonder. Let's go to Mexico sailings. These are not the type of people that's be on a cruise. Hell no. So how much is the big dog suite? It's $1,500. What does that look like? Ocean suite. Ain't got no pictures. Where's the pictures? And you only got to put a deposit of $150 now? Let's see. Middle deck 7. That's for the big dog one. All right. So finding out a little bit more. Let's continue.
The sun coming up. You couldn't do that on this last cruise because they were still drunk from the night.
You got to finance $254, bro. We got a bigger conversation on our hand to have.
Before. And the only place they could find to hide with their goofiness is on the Serenity deck. The people on either side of us in the cabin were ridiculous. Their trash stumbled out into the hallway. And I'm not talking people. I'm talking literal trash. They would go up to the bars, the buffets, and get plates and plates of stuff and then just pile it on the floor outside their door. There was no class. In the words of my grandfather, they had no couth. The fighting is what amazed me. You're on vacation in parts of the most beautiful part of the world, and all you can do is cuss, scream, and fight. Now, mind you, I met people on this cruise that were from a Baptist church somewhere up near Chicago. There was about 15 of them. I regret to this day not getting their names. I had such a fun time with those people. But I couldn't visit with them because of all the nonsense going on. And it didn't matter where you went on the ship. The nonsense. Now, I watched a lady's video today where she blamed it all on Carnival for dropping the prices. I don't know how much more you could insult your own people. That because they paid an inexpensive fare, that somehow excused them from their stupid actions? No. It's not Carnival's fault they lowered prices. It's ill-mannered, classless people. And while there may be a large part of it, one particular race, it is not race exclusive.
You see how white people have to preface what they say. Now, with all of the people that I was dealing with, it just so happens on this day that it all happened to be one race, but it's not race exclusive. Now, I'm not saying that this all of that particular race, but what I am saying is that when I looked at the poll and when I seen people throwing trash and fighting, it just so happened to be all one race, but it's not all of them because all of them was not on the boat. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it. Just tell it like it is. We want to listen. We need the truth. I want to know the truth. I want to know what is happening, when it happened, and how it happened. And I need a descriptor. I need you to be as descriptive as possible about what happened and why it happened. And then we gonna draw our own conclusions. But talk about it. You ain't gotta mince words, anime. You don't have to mince words, anime. You could just say it. Just tell it like it is. Don't mince words. Just tell us what's going on, baby girl.
People and lowered prices. It's ill-mannered, classless people. And while there may be a large part of it, one particular race, it is not race exclusive.
You know what? None of us have to hear her say it to know exactly who it is. We know our people. We know what we're going to deal with when we pull up to the family reunion. Thanksgiving, we know Uncle Earl is going to be looking at all of the little girls and keep on trying to put them on their lap. We know Uncle Earl is going to be doing that. You know that Auntie Sally, she probably going to be mad at Uncle Ricky for cheating on her because Uncle Ricky is gonna be oogling over the new chick that the nephew brought to Thanksgiving. Oh man, that's a bad one. That's a bad one right there. Back in my day, we already know. We know that you probably gonna have to keep your purse tucked because Jerome over there is a dope fiend and he cleaned up for the day, but he can't resist going in niggas' purses when they decided that they wanted to go and do the hustle in the background. That's just what it is. We know our people. We know them. We know that this nigga just started selling drugs and this young nigga just got some pussy and he feeling himself and we all know it. We know every single thing that happens from our people. That's why we don't need a descriptor. We already know what she's talking about. One group of people was being disruptive and doing backflaps. We know who it is. We not confused, miss. We know who our people are. And for everybody getting offended, you know who your people are.
But what amazed me is you couldn't go to the swimming pool deck ever. From like 8 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock at night, you couldn't go because it was bad. It was bad. So when I got back, I wrote Carnival a letter, told them I would be not to be sailing.
We don't even like water like that. Most pool parties, nobody is in the pool. That's a white person thing. This is the facts. But we gonna be around the pool because water is there. Whoa, whoa. And it's an excuse for us to throw on our swimsuits, throw on our swim trunks, do the boots on the ground, and throw a couple hustles in there. We gonna get it popping. We taking over. Ain't gonna be no pooling, just standing around the pool. Maybe throw some feet in there. That's it. Because the women don't want to get their hair messed up, and the guys is paying attention to what the women is doing, and so they trying to focus on what's gonna happen on that type.
With them again, because I did not enjoy my cruise. People take cruises to relax. They take cruises to have a good time. You go in the bar, have a few drinks, have a lot of fun. You come lay out on the deck by the pool, have a few drinks, enjoy yourself, have a hamburger, have whatever you want, but enjoy yourself. You don't enjoy yourself on Carnival anymore. And it wasn't a short cruise. I was on a 7-day cruise.
You were stuck with them for 7 days, Auntie. You were stuck with them for 7 days. That sucks for you. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications, man. Let me read some of these super chats and we're going to continue on with the show. Papa Nail Shelley says, oh, Malik about to be mad at Anton. We ain't worried about Malik. Malik is Malik. Dre with the K says, who grandma had big ass wooden spoon and fork on the kitchen wall? All of them. All of them. All of them had the same thing, bro. 2KKO Maine in front of the courthouse yesterday, Wayne Black says. Rob Brown says, shout out to you, AD. My parents just came back from a Carnival cruise to the Bahamas about 2 weeks ago. From their experience, they did not enjoy it because it was ghetto and disgusting. I'm not surprised at all. See, that's another thing that people don't understand is that the fatigue is not just extended to people that aren't black. Some of us also don't like it. A lot of us are not fans of what we see happening in the community. And I'll go as far as to say this also. There's a lot of us that actually don't like the fact that we have to be subjected to the idea that we got to be the black person, the token black person. When y'all come up to us sometimes and y'all be like, yeah, man, because they tripping. Nigga, I don't agree with you. I agree with them over there. You ghetto. You a hood rat. Yo, what's up, dog? Yeah, man. You know what you know what that Zah is? Oh, nigga, I don't know where no Zah is. I am here as a civilian like everybody else. I am not here to be like you. I don't want to hang with you. You niggas stink sometimes with alcohol and all of this stuff. And it's like, no, I am not aligned with you on this issue. Walk up to me. Yeah, man, you know, they they voted for Trump. You know, these people racist. Like, me and them think the same way. Get beneath me, Satan. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, dog, we not all the same. We're not all the same. I am not your friend. Bro, I'm glad you're finally here. Oh, yeah, why you glad I'm here? Because I thought I was going to be the only black person in here. Look at all these people. They must be racist. I'm not with him. I don't know him. I'm not with him. I don't know him. Man, look at all of these racist white people. Hey, man, can I get $5, bro? Why are you asking me for $5? Because, man, these racist people, they ain't want to give me no money, bro. Can I get a couple dollars? Always got to do something for somebody because they black. Hey, man, you coming back to the hood? No, nigga, I don't live in the hood. I live in the good part of town. Why did you automatically think that I lived in the hood? You know, you got to be from the hood. You from the east or the west? East or the west? You look like a west side nigga. How do I look like a west side nigga? You know how it is, bro. You know, the west side, they be acting a little bougie. East side, they get money. West side, them the people that act a little bougie. You know what I'm saying? Check, please. Check, please. Yo, look, here's another one. I'm gonna give y'all another one. Yo, you coming in, if you want to go into the regular entrance, let's say, for example, you caught an Uber, you caught a black truck to the concert or whatever. Yo, you get your tickets for the radio station too? No, nigga, I didn't get my tickets for the radio station. I paid full price. And I'm here because I want to see the game. Yeah, man, we got ours on discount. We financing. You know what I'm saying? So what terminal you going to? You going to Spirit? Frontier? And take that Spirit flight. Listen, brother, there's nothing wrong with a Spirit flight, but I am going to you one of them. That's what we'll hear a lot of times. Oh, you one of them. Start looking around. I should have known. I looked at your shoes. You ain't wearing J's. Jesus. Are you casing the place, sir? Or are you trying to get service like the rest of us? Yeah, man. Y'all just pulled up like we did. No, we got a reservation. And as they said that the wait is like an hour and a half. Yeah, it's a pretty popular restaurant, and you need to take off your wife beater because no shirt, no shoes, no service. It says it right on the door. Oh, you ain't one of us. I got you. Cycle Gamer says, my girl bought us tickets to a Carnival cruise this summer. She knows I don't like the hooch. I told her my reservations. Now she mad at me. Am I tripping? No, you're not tripping. Yvette says, rap music is very explicit, not 80s country, etc. Turtle Island says, black people will perform ghettofication on anything and blame everyone else for being the victim. Cookie, what up, Cookie? That's a heck of a profile picture. I went on Ghetto Carnival from LBC, Long Beach, in May with my husband and kids, and it may be our last. Black guy next to us smoked weed daily, and they smoking and be coming into your cabin. Bonnets, wife beaters, robes at breakfast. I was ashamed, horrified, and embarrassed. Ashamed at nothing. Shout out to my Southfield people. I love Southfield and Southfield Lathrop. Mel Dub says, unfortunately, the ratchet culture is infesting tourist spots like Gatlinburg and Pigeon. Yeah, they out there too. They out in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge too. Yeah, they renting out cabins, bro. I seen them. These people make it rough even for us black folk. SS says Carnival is saying y'all liability. Them deals gonna have family reunions in the water, says Turtle. Carrington Love Jr. says, I always thought cruises were ghetto. Even when I was a kid, I can only imagine being on a ship with a bunch of sexy reds and poo shiesties. Cruises are gay, says America as is. Moses King says, AD got to work on that southern accent, big dog. I was using a southern accent. Chris Cunningham says, I've been on a Carnival cruise 10 years ago and it was classy. The boat was trash because it was older. We dressed up at the captain's ball. So I agree with you. Yeah, we did too. When I went like 20 years ago, we dressed up at the little ball thing. Tyron the Timer says, man, AD, she called out every stereotype on racial profiling bingo card. I'm yelling, bingo. Tony Nichols says, grand opening, grand closing. Shout out to Jay-Z. Mark the Guardian says, you're right about the pool. Most black people can't even swim. LT144K says, 80, I moved into a nice area in VA a few years ago. Now, lately, I've been seeing raggedy cars with dark tint with Keisha and Pookie inside. I said, damn, here we go with the BS I moved from. Carrington says, Grand Rising Queen, check your envelopes. Deltown says, I stay in GA. How we got only F, but not FanDuel. Carrington Love Jr. says, that was a funny-ass monologue. Anton, amazing. I'm wearing MAGA overall shorts to the cookout, says Bam Bam Lynch. AR says, AD, a reenactment of the YNs and the Dusties is giving me PTSD. This sounds like a Bay Area conversation I've had on a few occasions. Nick Speaks says, good afternoon, AD in the chat. What up, Nick? All right, y'all, let me pivot for a second because we got to deal with this Frontier situation, all right? Apparently there was a fight on Frontier. I haven't seen it. I'm just becoming familiar with it. But apparently there was a fight on Frontier, and it was all captured on camera. So make sure that you guys hit a like for the algorithm. If y'all have not tapped into the Patreon, then the link to the Patreon is in the beginning. Best day to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. The link is pinned to the top of the chat, I believe, and we got after hours tonight. I've never rode Frontier before. I can't imagine that any airline is bad. I think that y'all give these airlines a bad rap. It has nothing to do with the airline. It has everything to do with the prices. Listen, y'all. Listen to what I'm saying. I don't think there's anything wrong with a affordable cruise. I don't think that there's anything wrong with a cheap airline ticket. The problem is that when you make it accessible to everybody, that is where the problem starts to come in, because you involve or you get an element that otherwise you would have never had. Honestly, I heard that Spirit was ranked #1 in customer service or some crap. I don't know how they did it or whatever, but that's what I heard. I don't think I took a Spirit flight a couple times. I took one from one from Tampa over to Miami. It was like a 25, 30-minute flight. And then I took one when I was younger also. I think I took one to Florida. But I don't think it's anything wrong with the actual airline. I think it's more or less about the element or the people that you make it accessible for. I did the big seat. Yeah, I did the big seat.
Comments the whole flight.
That broke out midair on a Frontier Airlines fight that broke out midair on a Frontier Airlines plane. It was headed to Miami. A New Jersey man was arrested, charged after attacking another passenger. Victor Kendo is at Miami International Airport with the story. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, George. That Frontier Airlines flight headed here to Miami from Philadelphia. According to the police report, the victim says that he was sitting in his seat when that other passenger grabbed him by the neck and attacked him. This morning, an alarming scene as a fight breaks out on board a Frontier Airlines flight bound for Miami while it was still in the air. The plane was about to land when, according to police records, 21-year-old Ishan Sharma was returning to his seat when he allegedly grabbed another passenger by the neck. The two trading blows.
Look like dreads. I could be wrong. Y'all give me some insight. Is that a dread head or no? Is that a dread head or no? That's a bear. That's a bear mauling that man. That is a bear mauling a person. I could be wrong. Y'all said that's not a black man? That's a white boy with long hair? That's a white boy with long hair? Is that what y'all saying? I can't tell. I can't tell. Let me see.
Passengers trapped, witnessing the chaos.
The man sitting behind was making comments to the man in front.
That's a black man. That's all. That ain't nothing but a black man.
The man sitting behind was
Passengers trapped, witnessing the chaos.
The man sitting behind was making comments to the man in front.
Why y'all saying it ain't no black man? That is 100% a black man. Y'all saying they showed the picture. Why are you asking if it was a black? No, the guy that got mauled was the person that they showing a picture of. The person that did the mauling was 100% Chewbacca, Major Gaines. That's 100% Chewbacca. You looking at the mauler, the maulie. You're not looking at the mauler. That's what y'all not looking at. I see it.
The man sitting behind was making comments to the man in front.
You look at the nigga that got
like negative comments the whole flight. And the man in front went to the bathroom. And when he came back, that's when things started to escalate.
Sisters Rosa and Regina Gurgley seeing the scuffle firsthand.
You could hear just like pounding kind of and like people talking or yelling. And we could just see two people fighting. And it was almost like hitting the wall next to it.
Authorities saying the victim sustained superficial cuts and declined medical attention.
We've really got to do more to stop this nonsense. This should be treated as seriously as it really is, and that is disruption in the cabin that could lead to much more.
Listen, bro, let me tell you something. You know why this is problematic? Because they in the air. You can't fight in the air. That's a new fear that's unlocked. That's fear unlocked all day long. Look, bro. I've seen a lot of things in my life, but when y'all start fighting in the air, we got a problem. We got 100% of a problem. You can't be on there mauling people when the plane is in the sky. What are you doing? What's wrong with you? Everybody know that you're not supposed to fight in the air? No? I thought that was a universal thing. That's something. All right, listen. All right, no worries, big dog. I'll see you later. We'll see you. We'll get to it. We're going to have a conversation later. You're not supposed to fight in the air. What are you thinking?
Victim says he was attacked for no reason. Tonight, he's talking to just one station. The night team's Maricela Burgos is live at MIA. She has more on this flight, Maricela.
Belkis, he told us he wanted to clear the air. He wanted to make sure that people knew this was unprovoked. That passenger was behind him. He says out of nowhere he was attacked, and that passenger put his hands, he says, around his neck. Stop. A fight on a Frontier flight between two passengers.
Hell
You
no.
can hear other people on board begging.
That's a bear. That's a real bear. That is a bear mixed with a tiger. Do you see him?
Passengers. You can hear other people on board begging for the men to end the brawl. One of those guys in the cell phone video is Keanu Evans, who shakes his head watching it back.
So now tell me about how that's not a black man. I don't know. Listen. Is that the guy? That's not the guy. That can't be the guy. Because he's free and he don't look as big.
One of those guys in the cell phone video is Keanu Evans, who shakes his head watching it back.
What I hate is that the video doesn't capture what started the whole thing, you know?
No, he just got a couple scratches. He don't got no real bruises.
Only captures me defending myself.
He says what you don't see on this cell phone video is what happened beforehand that caused him to react.
He was doing some like dark laugh, like, ha 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 ha.
Did this nigga just say he was doing a dark laugh? Did you hear what he just said? No, we're going to take this in, Mary Jane. You don't even have a profile picture. This man said he was just doing a dark laugh like, Dog, don't tell me you got stretched out over a laugh, bro. You stretched the nigga out on a laugh? Oh, man.
Caused him to react.
He was doing some like dark laugh, like, ha 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 ha. And he was saying things like, you puny mortal man, if...
No, dog. I was not expecting. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. Don't do this. Oh, dog. I done heard it all today. God. Lord, don't do this to me. You puny mortal man. You can't beat somebody up because they laughing and they called you a mortal man. Oh, God. Where's my socks at? Jesus. This nigga did. All right, we're going to play the whole thing. No stopping.
To react.
He was doing some like dark laugh, like and he was saying things like, you puny mortal man, if you challenge me, it will result in your death.
Keanu says he left his seat to use the restroom and made sure to tell the flight attendants what was going on. They told him to push the button for assistance if it continued, which Keanu says it did.
And he kept threatening me with like death. That's what made me get up and press the button above me. And I just turned around and I looked at him and I responded to him. A lot was going on, and immediately he just got up and he puts his forehead on my forehead like he was challenging me. You know, he's looking at me very angrily, and we're looking eye to eye, forehead to forehead, and then he just grabs me by the throat and just starts choking me. At that moment, it was, you know, fight or flight responses kick in. I'm in a tight, confined space on an aircraft, and all I can do is just defend myself.
That other passenger is Ishan Sharma, who is now charged with battery. When the flight landed at MIA Monday night, cops were waiting.
If you see on my face, I've got some scratches from him scratching me on this right-hand side.
Authorities handcuffed Sharma and walked him through the terminal. Now he's sitting in jail.
It makes me feel bad because I don't want people to get the wrong idea about who I am as a person. I'm a good person. You know, I recently got baptized.
Oh, this nigga said he recently got baptized. Oh, ow, ow, oh my God. This is so dumb. Bad nigga said I recently got baptized.
He's sitting in jail.
It makes me feel bad because I don't want people to get the wrong idea about who I am as a person. I'm a good person. You know, I recently got baptized.
Then they cut to the beat down.
The biggest drawback for me, what I wish that I could have done better was just
baptize that nigga with his fist. Oh, this is the funniest thing that I've seen in a long time, bro. Look at my man. Stretched him out, as he called him, a mortal puny man. Oh, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that. Let me read the super chats. Mortal puny man. Nick Speak says, good afternoon, Anton in the chat. What up, Nick? What up, Nick? Fire Nation Radio Podcast says, on Carnival Cruise, I saw lesbians fighting over a guy. What? Somebody must have got the D. Someone arrested with a guard posted at the door and a granny gets stomped. Jesus, really? On family and out in the family fight? Magnetar says, I'm in this office by myself losing it. Big J all day says you can't make this up. J Ben says, ain't no way, bro, beat up a room niner for mumbling. Thou shalt not strike a D with smite, mortal man. Yvette says that may be considered taunting at best. Manuel AG says, I'm not gonna lie, Anton, your evil laugh be having me punching in the air sometimes. Man, I can't help it, bro. That junk was crazy. Abe Hunter says, bro, could you imagine on your flight with headphones watching your favorite movie, then somebody hits you out of the blue? Jessica, shout out to my girl Yvette, says, I retract my previous super chat. It's still funny. No, don't retract it. Marriage, politics, and sports says, come on, Anton, you blame the wrong guy this time. The black guy was the victim. We all would have fought back. Fought back to what? Listen, bro, listen. Again, we are in a metal can in the air. Nigga, we need some de-escalation tactics at that point. It ain't all. It's a major issue here. Hello. I'm doing well. How you doing? Yep.
It's all right.
So how's everything going?
Good. Have you had a chance? Do you guys get them permits for the trees?
Yeah, we getting everything sorted out. Everything should be all set by Monday, I'm thinking. So apparently we had to call out some people in order to change the blue or to submit some different stuff and stuff like that in order to go through it. So it wasn't as easy as we thought that it was going to be in order to get the permit to get the trees cut down. But hopefully we'll have all of that taken care of by next week, and then you can get your guys out there and we can get it taken care of.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll touch base with you next week and we'll see where we're at. And then once everything's all squared away, we'll get up on it so then you guys can continue doing your deal. So
thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate you. I just want to make sure that we're holding up our end of the obligation. So I appreciate it.
That's why I love working with you guys. You guys have always done a good job with us.
I appreciate that. And I'll talk to you next week. I hope you have a good weekend. I hope you either have something planned or get some relaxation in. I hope you got something going on.
Always working, my friend. Always working.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, hey, we'll talk to you next week. I appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Right,
bye now.
Yeah, that's our tree guy or the tree company that we use in order to cut down all of the trees and the stuff before we start digging with the excavation, because we got a new property that we about to break ground on. So super nice guy. Great. Love doing business. They always take care of business. They usually get stuff done in a day or two. And so good guy. Good guy. That's the type of energy that y'all got to have when y'all closing a deal. Come on, Anton, you blame the wrong guy. No, bro, they are fighting in a tent in a can in the air. In the air. Think about that for a minute. Everybody's life at risk. Everybody's life is at risk. As a passenger, I was like looking at it on the screen and I was thinking to myself, bruh, you're fighting on a plane. You know what I'm saying? Like, we not just in the street. This ain't no regular fight. You're not fighting in the airport. You're fighting in the air on the way to your destination from Philadelphia to Miami. That's not, bro, you know, you're not even considerate of other people at that point. You know what I'm saying? We can't just keep blacking out every time that somebody say something to us and they called us a mere mortal. You can't just black out when somebody call you a mortal. You mortal. Man, he can't kill you. You know what I'm saying? Because the nigga had to go through the same security and they ain't got no gun. So what we talking about, bro? And I don't even want to fight on a flight. That sound crazy, bro. Now, if you're the type of person that'll just snatch a nigga up because he called you a mere mortal, then I don't need to take no flights with you. Let me know what flight you on so I can catch the next one. LT says you shall pay for your insolence. Jason 18 says, man, real life is so much better and funnier than any book or movie, bro. I can't stop laughing at hers. It's hilarious, Jason 18. Big J all day says, Indian dude really said what Hulk said to Loki. Yes, he did. That's exactly what he said. Puny God. Puny God. Jawan Hart says, Braidhead says, I don't even know what that says. I appreciate you, Jawan Hart. Quick Fix says, this has to be a simulation. We all living in a simulation. Jay Davis says, Anton, you're wrong on this. You only got criticism for black men who was a victim and no smoke for the thug who was arrested by the feds. I didn't even know who was going to be the people that was fighting on the plane. I was reacting to it in real time. Every video that y'all see me playing today, except for the ones where they was talking about the Carnival cruise, are videos where I'm looking at in real time based off of the headline. None of this stuff I know. So if we have a habit of monkey pounding somebody because we don't have no self-control, it's not about who said it first or who's right. It's about, do we know y'all don't even want to know no de-escalation tactics. Y'all just be like, whatever. Y'all don't even care, huh? Don't matter if it's in a plane, don't matter. You need your self-respect. It's about who said something to you first, right? That's what it's about. Nobody cares. Don't matter if it's in the air, don't matter if it's in a car. Pull over, fuck that. He pissed me off. He started it first. He said something first. Let's get it's up, right? Self-respect is always key. Did you disrespect me? I got to prove myself to you. It's not about being right, nigga. It's about we in this tube in the air. Jarius Phillips, look, nigga shit. He put his hands on the man, though. If you go to any gun class, if you go to any self-defense class, if you take any boxing lesson, the number one thing that they're going to tell you is this. You try to proactively not put yourself in a situation. You try to de-escalate. And it's not always because you feel as though you're in danger. It's because you want to prevent yourself from having to get to the point to where you got to kill a nigga, you got to beat the fuck out of him, any of that type of stuff. And so what they teach you is to avoid conflict and proactively put yourself in a situation to where you don't even get into a conflict. The conversation that I'm having with y'all is not a right or wrong conversation. It's about how do I avoid getting into a conflict with a nigga while we flying in a plane in the air, and it's not necessarily going to be conducive. Are we all on the same page or no? If you take any gun class, any self-defense class, any boxing class, any taekwondo, any karate, they're going to tell you that, listen, that is absolutely the last resort. You're not walking away because you necessarily feel like you're losing. You're walking away because you don't want them to lose. You don't want to have to kill a nigga. You don't want to have to do any of that shit. I don't talk to people that don't have profile pictures. And let's be clear, Marie, I will slap the shit out of a bitch. So I'm the wrong one. Trust me. Listen, the stuff that I say online versus the things that I've had to experience in real life, you wouldn't do it. Your man wouldn't do it. Nobody would do it. I'm 43 years old. I got to this age because I've evolved. You wouldn't do it. I will slap the shit out of you. I promise to God on everything that I love right in front of your daddy. I've done way more for less. Way more for less. The reason that I'm telling you about de-escalation tactics is because I don't want you to find yourself in a situation where you got to look over your shoulder for the rest of your life. Because everybody don't take that shit lightly. And let's be clear, everybody not just walking away. Some people go back and they go get a pistol. You might win the fight, nigga. You might lose the war. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Ain't nobody just scrapping no more and walking away. You might run into a dude because y'all went to the same destination in the same situation. You might run into a dude that knows somebody that know you and they gonna come and get their get back. Is it worth it? You might win, but you might lose, nigga. And I'm trying to tell you that everybody don't play by the same rules. Nigga, this ain't the 80s. This ain't the 70s. This ain't the 60s. Everybody ain't just sitting there taking that shit. Everybody can't take a L. Everybody can't take a lick and keep on moving. The reason that you find yourself in de-escalation tactics is not because not a nigga embarrassed on the news. What if he go and do something else? Everybody can't take a L. Everybody ain't just scrapping. Everybody's strapped now. So all of this tough talk, that shit don't fly no more. Everybody got guns, everybody got hands, and everybody is going to react differently. You can't control the outcome once it go to a certain level is the point. So you want to go home to your family or you want to be tough? And that's what I'm trying to tell you, because I know people that ain't letting it slide. I know everybody some people that's like, all right. I know people where you can get into an argument with them and they not going to even get to the point to where they want to have a conversation. You know what? If they feel disrespected, they're going to find out everything about you to make a determination of whether or not they want to do something on the other end. I know people that don't even play that fucking game. I know people that don't even like disrespect. You say the wrong thing in the wrong way and they're going to put some people on it to find out exactly where you live. So you can talk all of that shit that you want to. Everybody don't play the game the same way. Everybody ain't cool like that. Everybody ain't just walking away. Some people hold that shit in. And some people, let me tell you a story. And this is the honest to God truth. This is on everything. This is on my father's grave. And this is what I've learned. I'm going to just use a blanket statement. I don't want to say who it is or none of that. For those of y'all that's in Detroit, you know that there used to be a theater called the Southfield. I think it was a Southfield AMC, right? It was a movie theater that everybody went to, and it was a lot of people, right? And black people often at times went to this movie theater. It got so rowdy that they wound up shutting it down, but it was called the AMC, right? And two guys, I'm going to just keep it real general. Two guys got into it with each other. Y'all know about it. Two guys got into it with each other back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I'm talking about when they were younger, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. That when they was in their early 20s. And this is a real story. And again, I don't want to say who they are, none of that. I'm going to just keep it real blanket. Two guys got into it back in the day. They scrapped. One of them got the best of the other one. And the other one was like, all right, cool. I see you. I'm going to get back at you. They never ran into each other again. They never ran into each other again until 10 years later when they when they ran into each other at a movie theater. This is an honest to God truth. But one nigga was still in the streets, and the person that had got the best of him, the guy that won the fight, he had already matured. He had started getting in the church. He changed his life. He was at the movie theater with his fucking wife. This is the honest to God truth. He was at the movie theater with his wife, and he seen a nigga in his peer view, and the dude was already ready to get it up right then. But except he wasn't talking about scrapping no more. It was about. And it wasn't until he seen his girl come out that he decided not to kill that nigga. And he told him. He said, nigga, I was about to kill you. That's the honest to God truth. 10 years later, the nigga would still hold on to that shit. And the other guy had already changed. He wasn't even into that life no more. He had moved on. He was with his wife. He was trying to take her to the movie theater and all of this stuff. Ran into the nigga at the movie theater. It's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it. Everybody don't have the same rules. Nobody plays by the same standards and the same rules no more. It's not the same game anymore. It's a whole nother game. It's a whole nother game. It's a different playground now. And so all I'm saying is when we get into these emotional situations, it's not like we thinking it all through. We just reacting off of instinct. Oh, you said something to me. Oh, you stepped. Nigga, it's up. It's just instinct. It's instinct. But we got to start thinking things through. We have to start playing out every fucking scenario because everybody is playing a different game. Everybody is playing a different game. I seen some stuff yesterday at the airport. At the airport, when I got picked up at the airport, Rita pointed something out, and I said, "No, we gotta do it a little bit differently because we got this." She said, "Why? Let's just can't play that game no more." She said, "Why? Why?" I said, "Because it's cameras now." I said, "I got visibility. Everybody got a fucking camera phone. It's not the same." And I ain't telling you the situation, but it's not the same no more. You can't do the same shit that we used to do back in the 90s and the early 2000s. We in a different state. Some shit might hit the internet. You don't know what's gonna go on. You have no clue. And she was like, "Yeah, that do make sense." Especially when we up. Especially when we up. You mean I'm up? I'm all the way up and I'm on an ascent. You think I'm about to pull a Shannon Sharp? Not pulling no Shannon. You mean when you at your peak and you about to get that big bag and now you're gonna make a life-changing decision because you can't control your ego? Or because you can't exercise some level of self-discipline? Nah, we not gonna do the same thing. We can't do that. We can't do the same thing that everybody else did. We can't play the game the way everybody else play it. We got to move a little bit differently, and we got a bigger fish to fry. And so now we gonna have to be a lot more mindful before we just make a decision that 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago we wouldn't think about. But now we got to think a little bit differently. Now we got to think a little bit differently. That's just the facts. This is real. And you know what's so funny? It's funny that y'all coming at me with this rhetoric when yesterday on Jason Whitlock's show, everybody was trying to hold me accountable because I was defending Diddy. And what their argument is, well, he can't be a victim even if he was to get 20 years in prison if he gets life because he has more responsibility because he got more money, he got more visibility, he's a celebrity, so he has a greater obligation to carry himself differently in the public because the consequences is going to be greater. So then I say, okay, cool. Consequences is going to be greater. Let's take that same lesson and make it applicable to people that got families or if you get more money or whatever, right? And no, fuck that. It's up. It's up. We just got to do it. Which way you want it? Which way you want it? How you going to play it? I could walk away and never see that nigga another day in my life. I'll never see you again. You'll probably see me on TV, but I'll never, ever see you again. Or we could take a risk. We could take a risk. And I just realized that you can't do everything that everybody else want to do. Because I'm not fumbling no bags over no stupid perspective of niggas that don't even give a fuck about me. You got nothing to lose. I got everything to lose. I got to play it a little bit differently. Hopefully y'all hearing this. Hopefully we actually get some perspective. Hopefully as you get older, you get wiser and you try to impart wisdom on people so that they don't have to learn the lessons that you had to learn the hard way. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be leaving this earth in a better space had we not been here. We're not supposed to be going through the same shit every single generation. We got to think differently, y'all. We got to be smarter. We got to be wiser. And even though we entertained, we have to start taking these real life lessons and making it applicable in our real life. You know what I'm saying? I can't do the same thing I did. Almost got into it with a nigga in DC at the hotel. And somebody had walked up to me, and my ego almost got the best of me. And somebody had walked up to me and was like, "Oh man, what up, man? I follow your stuff." And right then and there, I snapped out of it because I was thinking to myself, I don't know who in here know me. I don't know who in here watch me. I don't know what this impression is going to be. You know, their first impression of me could be negative because I'm getting into it with another dude that ain't got nothing to lose. This is dumb. This is dumb. I'm good. I'm good. Let's walk away. Can't always exercise every single right that you have. Let me read the rest of these super chats. We almost at 3 hours. Dang, time just be flying, don't it? Shout out to Skinny Boy Django. Says, "Sir, you killing me. I'm playing God of War today after work. Definitely. Did he really say fight or flight? Man, that's so dumb." Brock says, "So you gonna let a dude trick you out of your position with a Shao Kahn line for Mortal Kombat? What is up with these new dudes?" Marriage, Politics, and Sports says, "Of course you are correct about de-escalation, but the hand on neck is pretty hard to come back from." But see, I never even had to be in the vicinity of a dude to where we had to get into that in the first place. How did he get close enough to put his head on his head like this, is what we saying. No, he was not wrong for defending himself, but how did we get to the point to where we touching foreheads together? Nigga, I'm not even going to get close enough to you to where we doing like this. We doing like this? Why are you that close to me? You never should be that close to me. He hit him with the stench of those dumpsters. J. Ben says, Faster found his new armor bearer, says High Tolerance. Chase Barnes says, "Happy Thursday, AD peeps. Laughter is always the best medicine." Jay Davis says, "Got it. Only the black must turn the other cheek." See, you didn't catch it. I can only try to impart it. I can only try to communicate it. I can't. I guess it's no way for me to actually reach some of y'all. Some of y'all just got to go through it. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Don't worry about it. Some get it. Whoever got the ears to hear, some gonna get it. Do what you feel is best. You handle it however you see fit. Jarius Phyllis says, "I agree, Anton. I'm just trying to understand, how do you de-escalate a situation that was already escalated when a crazy Arab man put his hands on a DJ Dre head?" I don't talk to people. I don't even engage with people that seem like they negative. I don't know. I guess y'all got it. Y'all got it. Anti-morphin and a Jesse Lee Peterson, says Jay Davis. Okay. Moses King says, "AD, be real. If a grown man grabs you mid-flights and start choking you, are we having the same conversations or no? Are we all in the same spaces or no? Am I alone by myself here? I just want to make sure that we all on the same page or no. Shout out to Moses King. Obi-Wan the homie says, the black dude shouldn't have turned around to engage. Duran Lee says, "The glory of young men is their strength, and the splendor of old men is gray hair." Rags from Texas says, "Shout out to my grandma. She made sure we learn how to swim, not just for fun, but also a survival skill." Real love right there. Shout out to everybody in the chat. But I don't censor anybody, so everybody is welcome to have their own opinion. I guess everybody is welcome to handle situations as they see fit. Get your money up, and I won't be in the spaces with crazy people like that. See, that's why I don't fry Frontier. That's why I don't be on this. That's why I don't be on Spirit hanging with you niggas. That's a part of my de-escalation tactics. We working on it. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. We working on it. Part of my de-escalation tactics is taking a first class flight, and hopefully soon I'll be taking private flights everywhere I go. Jarius Phillips says, I'm not trying to be ignorant. I'm really trying to understand. I've never been put in that spot. It's a reason probably why you never been put in that spot. Part of my de-escalation tactic is not to be around a certain element to even get to that point. How about that? That's why I don't hang with niggas. I don't hang with people. I don't go on the finance of my flights. I don't go on Carnival cruises. I don't fly Frontier. I don't do any of that shit because I don't want to be around niggas that do shit like that. That's a part of the de-escalation tactic, is being proactive, not reactive. I'm not a reactive person. I'm a proactive person. I make sure that I put myself in a situation where I'm always going to be a winner. Always going to be a winner. Somebody said, I know you be hooping, AD. What do you do then? I don't hoop with niggas. That's a part of the de-escalation tactics. I hoop with men that play 40 and over. They be there very early, and they got to get to their corporate job right after they get out of the shower. That's a part of the de-escalation tactic. Are you following me now? I don't go to the courts and the hoods no more. I don't hoop with people that foul hard. If I see somebody playing prison rules, all right, yeah, I'm out. All right, y'all, have a good one. I'm gone. I'm not hanging with you. That's the purpose. That's my point. That's my whole point. Is that I am not going to kick it with people that want to do you don't get into arguments on the golf course. That's my whole point. Is that I go to a gym that requires you to pay at least $300 to $400 a month. The Diamond Club, guess what? They don't even have a basketball court in that bitch. It's a reason why they don't put a basketball court in there, because it attracts a certain element. We don't hang in the same places. That is called being proactive and de-escalation. That is my whole point, is to avoid putting yourself in a situation in the first place. That's the whole point. If I look around, it's interesting here. I don't know, 100%. I go to a Lifetime Diamond Club. See the Lifetime Diamond Club app right there? I don't hang in the same places as everybody else. I know that it's a certain element that's in certain places. I'm good. So if you don't know, if you don't get it, if you don't know how to be proactive and not put yourself in a certain situation, it's on you. I see certain things, you know what? I'll change hotels immediately. Immediately, I will change hotels if I see certain things. I'm not telling you what I seen at the airport yesterday. No point. Jerry says that makes more sense to me now. I am avoiding conflict. I don't want that type of element around me. I'm too old for that, bro. Didn't we do that in like our teens and our 20s? Classify said, I just had this conversation the other day. I never put myself in any place where N-words hang out, even if it's family. Let me say this, bro. The goal was to get away from that element. And that's the reason why we wanted to get out of the hood, so that we didn't have to deal with certain things. Wasn't that the play? So that we can actually be in comfort and barbecue and not have to always be in a bad situation. Why is you hanging with people that don't have nothing to lose and they ready to crash out at a moment's notice? I got you, DLC. Shout out to AD and thank you always, says Vincent Holder. DLC. Let me see this real quick. Nah, people understand what he's saying. He's just wrong on this situation. DLC, I don't know if you've ever super chatted before, but I was about to just go in on this thing that you got going on right here. All right. All right, DLC. I'm looking at you, DLC senior. Are you saying that I'm wrong? Because I can end this show one way or the other. DLC, are you saying that I'm wrong? Or are you saying that the other person is wrong? I want to make sure, because I've been known in the past to go off unjustifiably. And I want to make sure that that I'm not interpreting this wrong, because you could be saying it about somebody else. BD, all right, BD, you've been trying to get my attention for like 2 weeks. I know you don't have a profile picture. I know you are a troll. You said and AD. So if I slap you, what would you do? My security has a license to kill you. They have insurance. Listen, when y'all hire y'all security, let me tell y'all. Let me give y'all a clue when y'all get to a certain level. When y'all hire y'all security, make sure that they have a license to kill people. And that they have the insurance to be able to cover them if they ever do it. Okay. Make sure your security has a license to kill people. Anybody that's ever been to a meetup, anybody that has ever met me in real life, anybody that has ever met me out of town, you know that it's a nigga watching you. Every single person that give me a handshake, every single person that give me a hug, you can see him. He right there. He stands out. He's not hidden. He's right there. He's right there. He's right there. So now I gave you your attention. So now you can sit down for the next 2 weeks. Make sure y'all tap into make sure y'all tap into after hours tonight. What did DLC say? I like everybody. I love everybody. I know that some people want my attention. Your take is wrong. Some situations you don't have a say on when an altercation will occur. DLC, I'm looking at you, big dog. You a senior. Family. Respectfully, you and I should be having the same take. You are a nerd. I'm a nerd. You're a nerd, DLC. You're DLC senior. You have a child, and I can't even tell if that child is your child because you need to go and get a DNA test in this picture. All right. You a nerd ass nigga. You should never even be in a situation. Nobody is confronting you with that shirt on that you got on in that profile picture. Honest to God, bro. Nobody is trying to check for you, big dog. Nobody is approaching you and saying, yo, I'm about to run up on him and I can't believe. Bro, they look at you when they say, can you do my taxes? Can you do my taxes? You're not even built like that, bro. Stop. Nobody is looking at you and trying to get into a confrontation. You're a nerd. Your whole life, you never got into any kind of fight. At all. At all. It's not even that. Me and you are in the same boat. We should be focusing on the same thing, how we can reduce our tax burden, how we can employ more people, and how we need to be moving in certain circles. Stop. Stop. You shouldn't even be having this conversation with me, big dog. Focus on making sure that we get our calf raises in, that we keep our circulation in. Nigga, you need to be going to the doctor and getting a coloscopy or whatever the fuck they do that. Man, go get your checks. What are you about to be? We 43 years old. Nigga, you still fighting at 43 years old? Go raise your baby. Is that your baby? Go raise your baby. Are you a grandfather or is that your baby? Go check your emails. Let's go learn AI together. Me and you should be talking about having AI conversations. We shouldn't even be, you shouldn't have this conversation with me. You stand down. You stand down. Stop it. Make sure our insurance plans are together and, trying to pay off your credit card debt. Sitting here talking about you're wrong when an altercate. Nigga, ain't nobody altercating you. Stop it. Stop, bruh. Stop it. Don't do that. Now I'm trying to hold back because I think that you're a good person. And it looks like you're raising oh, nah, I'm a nigga. Okay. All right. So I guess we're gonna go down. Nigga, whose baby is this? Whose baby is this? Nigga, you a chocolate face. Say something else, I'm gonna get you deported. Nigga, you got an underscore in your name with a senior and a period. That's not even your baby. You holding somebody else's baby. Boy, if you don't go and get a DNA test, you see your shirt is buttoned all the way up to the top. You got a graphing calculator. You a purple face. You a chocolate face. Nigga, I'll get you deported tomorrow. What are you talking about? Go get your pocket protector and shut the fuck up and go raise somebody else's baby. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I'm going to leave it at that. Leave me the fuck alone, bro. Bro, this girl took me to a cookout when we first started dating. It was all hood people there. I saw then that she was slowing from the projects. Free 2K praying for protection. Shout out to you. Carrington Love says, I'm looking at you, big dog. Niggas doing taxes, talking about you never know when a situation occur. Shut the fuck up. Jay Davis says, we see the play, only critique the blacks and don't say anything critical about other folks, even when some others folks are clearly unhinged. Yeah, that's the play. I want to make sure that I hold them accountable and get them together instead of making sure that the community is safe and running up a bag. You're right. Yeah, that's true. It's much easier to hold somebody else accountable and give them the gems instead of giving them to your own people. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all tonight. Peace.